Good evening and welcome to Ray Fisher Stadium in Ann Arbor as the Wolverines welcome in the Wright State Raiders for this interconference matchup. Michigan sits at 24-21 overall, while Wright State sports a 23-21 overall record. I'm Owen Klein, joined by my partner Coley Hoving. And Coley, this is a big game for both teams, especially this late in the year.
Yeah, definitely a sort of a tune-up game. Both of these teams are in the thick of their conference races. Wright State in the mix with UIC and Oakland for the number one seed in the Horizon League tournament, and Michigan, of course, sitting in fifth place with key series at Maryland and home versus Rutgers coming up these next 2 weekends.
Lineup for Michigan. It's going to be Clark Elliott, the DH today, usually in right field. Joe Stewart, second at center field. Batting third is Matt Frye, followed by Jimmy Obertop and Tito Flores. Batting sixth is Joey Velasquez, followed by Riley Bertram. Batting eighth and ninth, two players that usually don't get the start. Eighth is Jordan Rogers, the junior second baseman, and ninth is Jake Marty, the junior first baseman. Wright State will bat first. Leading off for them is Julian Greenwell, followed by Alex Sayer. Then Jay Lucart, followed by Anglin Gehrig. Then Zane Harris, Sammy Sass, Justin Reamer, Justin McConnell. To end it is Andrew Patrick. Pitcher for the Wolverines is Jack White, the senior. He's only pitched one out this year, an out in which he gave up 4 runs. Starting for Wright State is Sam Worsing, the junior. White sits at a 108 ERA, although that's kind of skewed because of the one out. I believe his career ERA is 5.87. So.
Yeah, so he did have a successful year in 2021. 4.50 ERA in 16 innings pitched, 2.22 batting average allowed. Obviously, those are some key numbers in a Wolverine pitching staff that has struggled here. If he can regain that form after very limited action this year, I'm pretty sure Coach Eric Bakich would be very proud of him.
Bakich, needing as many quality pitchers down the stretch. Obviously, this is an interconference matchup, so maybe part of the motivation for starting White tonight. As we prep for the first pitch, it's Julian Greenwell for Wright State. First pitch is in there for a strikeout start for Jack White.
Yeah, Greenwell is a dangerous hitter. He leads the Horizon League in OPS at 981 this year. And takes outside there. Used to be a pitcher as well and serves as the backup first baseman, so a very versatile player for this Raiders team.
Greenwell only a sophomore, playing left today. Took the second pitch outside, as Coley mentioned. Here comes the 1-1. That one swung on deep right field. Going back on it is the right fielder, and it'll go over his head for a home run. So a leadoff home run for Julian Greenwell. And as we mentioned, Jack White in his only appearance struggled a bit. Not the best start for him.
Yeah, that is a tough way to start the game, and it's not going to get any easier from here on out. Alex Sayer, Jay Lucart, and Garrick Anglin are all near the top of the Horizon League in OPS. Not to mention their prodigious walking ability. They see the zone, and they can attack those pitches that get left in there, as we just saw.
Booming start here for the Raiders as the right fielder Alex Sayer steps in. First pitch is in there for a strike. So what's the mindset for Jack White right now? You just gave up the leadoff home run. What do you need to do to stay in this game?
You just have to reset, treat it like a blank slate, execute your pitches as we see there.
0-2 now on Sayer.
And have to have the memory of a goldfish in a situation like this.
Here comes the 0-2 for Alex Sayer. That one's inside just barely, though. Good pitch there from Jack White. Leadoff home run early for Julian Greenwell. Puts the Raiders up 1-0 in this interconference matchup. This is a single-game series, so the only game between these two clubs this year. 1-2 to Sayer. Here it comes. It's outside. Makes it 2-2. Jimmy Obertop, the rock-solid catcher behind the plate again for the Wolverines.
Yeah, Obertop, his job here, especially with a pitcher like Jack White, who hasn't seen action, is to keep him in the game, keep him calm, get him executing.
Third pitch is outside. So full count here for Sayer, working back from that 0-2 start.
This is exactly what Sayer does. He's got 26 walks on the year. That contributes to his .433 on-base percentage. And he's always a threat to get on base at the top of this lineup.
The full count That one swung on and popped up right field. It's going to be Velasquez or Marty. Who's it going to be? It's going to be nobody. Goes foul into the Raiders' bullpen. So Sayre stays alive here. And as you mentioned, Coley, part of Sayre's game, just keep fighting, drawing those walks. I mean, above 400 on-base percentage. How about that? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and he's not the only one. There are actually 4 hitters in this Wright State lineup that are above 400 in their on-base. This team scores a lot of runs, and they're very efficient.
The full count. This one's popped up right side. This one's going to be fair, though. Velasquez is under it, and he makes the catch for the first out. Must feel good for Jack White to get the second guy. Good battle there from Sayre, but he ultimately gets retired. Joey Velasquez, the football and baseball player for Michigan out in right field.
Yeah, he's given a new meaning to versatility for the Wolverines.
Talk about positional versatility in baseball. How about playing 2 sports? And that's exactly what Velasquez does. Told my younger brother about him back at home, and he's thrilled about him. One out here as Jay Lucart steps to the plate, sporting a 3.01 average.
And a 2.35 ERA. Speaking of versatility, this man also serves as the best lefty arm in the Raiders bullpen, and he is their top closer.
Talk about the Shohei Ohtani of college baseball, huh? As that one is swung on and missed, making it 0-2. So White, after the early Greenwell home run, has gotten ahead of these batters here. 0-2 on Lucart. Here it comes. That one swung on and missed. So White retires Lucart on 3 pitches. It's got to be a good sign for Coach Eric Bakich, maybe trusting White. This isn't going to be one of those games like his first outing where things just go haywire. 2 quick outs after the Greenwell home run.
And more importantly, a lot of ugly swings.
Right, yep.
Neither of Sayre's contacts were very hard, and Lucart just failed to hit the baseball.
0-1 to Garrig Anglin. Excuse me, that one's inside, makes it 1-0. 1-0 here, Wright State leads, top of the first 2 outs after the leadoff home run by Julian Greenwell. Second pitch is just outside, makes it 2-0. Hitters count for Anglin here.
Anglin is a redshirt junior. He's from St. Clair, Michigan, right on the Canadian border in the Eastern Thumb. And he leads the Horizon League with 12 home runs this year. He's a power-hitting monster for these Raiders.
Third pitch, also a ball, so 3-0. Like you said, Coley, drawing walks seems to be a big part of this team's game. And they've gotten 2 3-ball counts here early. Not to mention the home run to lead off. Here is the 3-0, which is outside. So Anglin draws a walk, 2-out walk. Puts one on for Zane Harris, the DH.
Something that may be on the Wolverines' radar here is that Anglin, despite his size and power, also stolen 10 bases in 11 attempts on the year. So he could be looking to get in motion against Jimmy Obertop, who has struggled to throw out runners this year.
Something to watch out for sure. Here's the first pitch to Zane Harris, the designated hitter. It's outside. 1-0 here, and the last thing you want to do, especially after that leadoff home run, is give the Raiders more opportunities for runs with 2 outs. White trying to get out of this inning. Infield plays Harris straight up. Third baseman Frye is a little more in than the others. But other than that, it's relatively normal as that one's fouled off back toward the Raider dugout. Evens the count here at 1-1. 1-0, Wright State leads after the leadoff home run from Julian Greenwell. Wolverine pitcher Jack White has gotten the 2 out after. And then after that was a walk. And now here's Zane Harris, the 1 on. That one's outside as the runner goes, and he is safe. So stolen base there for Anglin is just as you mentioned, Coley. That man is dangerous on the base paths, and he showed why right there.
Yeah, and that was almost a perfectly executed throw down by Obertop. It was a breaking ball. It was a bit outside, so not ideal, but Obertop got up quickly and fired it perfectly placed, and it just wasn't enough.
So Anglin now at second, scoring position here for the Raiders. Harris, here comes the 2-1. That one swung on and fouled back.
Yeah, Zane Harris has been a mainstay in this lineup. Started 44 games, mostly at DH, but he does have some first base capabilities. Last year saw similar success with a 347 average and 42 starts.
2-2 here for Harris. England at second. 1-0 Wright State leads in this intercollegiate matchup. Pitcher is Jack White, the senior for the Wolverines. Here comes the 2-2. That one is outside, gets away from Obertop as England advances to third base. That one seemed catchable for Jimmy Obertop. Might have just missed it as England advances to third. Full count now on Zane Harris. Sammy Sass, the sophomore, waiting patiently on deck.
Yeah, obviously, you don't want to put more runners on base, but in a 3-2 count here with a hitter like Harris up, you don't want to give in if you're Jack White.
Here's the full count. That one swung on and popped up third base side. Frye looking to make the play in foul territory, and he does. So Michigan stops the bleeding at 1. And after the leadoff home run by Julian Greenwell, Michigan's defense, along with pitcher Jack White, does a good job of getting out of that inning. They've got to respond offensively, though.
Yeah, absolutely. You love to see what Jack White did there at the end. Getting a lot of swinging under on that fastball. Maybe he's holding up just a little bit more than people think. Maybe they're expecting a little sink in action. But they're swinging under it, trying to lift the ball too much, and it put them with some weak contact in the air in that first inning.
For Michigan, it's going to be Clark Elliott, Joe Stewart, and Matt Frye to lead off. 3 staples of the Michigan order. Pitching for Wright State is going to be Sam Worsing, sporting an 8.39 ERA on 10 appearances this year. So a solid sample size. Michigan, good opportunity for them to put some runs on the board here against Wright State.
Yeah, Sam Worsing, another one of those pitchers that we were saying, he's had a rough year, but historically been a little better. 5.37 career ERA, and that's in 102.1 innings. So he's not a small sample size guy on the career. Has some trouble keeping the ball in the strike zone. 19 walks this year, and that has contributed to his downfall. But we'll see if the Wolverines can keep his struggles going here in the first.
Michigan sporting the pinstripe unis today, Coley. How do you feel about those? You like them?
You know, I'm a fan.
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Some teams it doesn't work for. Trying to be like the Yankees a little too much. But I think Michigan can pull them off. I mean, they look good. They look clean.
Yeah. There was the game against Indiana. I think it was on Saturday. They were wearing the cream against Indiana, maybe just to rub it in a little bit.
Right.
But they can definitely do a lot with the blue and maize combo.
Oh, yeah. A lot of different possibilities for that uni. It's not just football, folks, who's known for their uniforms. Michigan baseball as well. Looking flashy out there on the diamond. As Clark Elliott steps to the plate for the Wolverines, he's their guy in terms of hitting 344 on the year. And many consider him to be the premier prospect of the Big Ten. Here's the first pitch from Worsing. Outside for a ball. 1-0 to Clark Elliott.
Yeah, the Michigan offense starts with Clark Elliott, and when he's off, they're off. So he needs to get going today.
The 1-0, just outside, makes it 2-0. Patient hitting from Clark Elliott to start this at-bat. Is Worsing working with some pace now. Here comes the 2-0. That one's in for a strike. Caught Elliott a bit off guard on the inside part of the plate. Makes it 2-1.
You're right. Worsing's getting into his rhythm right now. Just coming set. And then foot behind the mound, bringing it forward. Maybe from a little three-quarter slot there.
2-1 is swung on and missed for 2-2. It's a big part of pitching, right? I mean, Worsing working with some pace, staying in that rhythm. I know that's preached a lot in baseball for pitchers. As Elliott waits on the 2-2, and here it comes. Swung on, left field. Greenwell is not under it, and it's going to bounce in for a single. Elliott, big turnaround at first base. He'll scamper back, though. As Clark Elliott, nice start for Michigan with the single.
Yeah, good piece of hitting. That ball was trailing outside, and he did what he could with it, taking it the other way. Maybe not as much of a line drive as he would have liked, lifting it up, but Julian Greenwell didn't have the legs to get to it, and it drops in for a single.
So in steps Joe Stewart, also a staple of this Michigan order, hitting 332 on the year. He has appeared in every game for the Wolverines. First pitch to Stewart is high for a ball. Elliott at first with the leadoff single. Wright State leads 1-0 here in the bottom of the first after the Julian Greenwell leadoff home run. 1-0 to Joe Stewart. That one is outside.
Yeah, Stewart has been as reliable as Elliott this year, despite the difference in prospect pedigree. Obviously an unheralded transfer from Michigan State. But he's been hitting it to all gaps, and his speed on the base paths is a difference maker.
Third pitch is in for a strike, makes the count 2-1. Elliott at first, no outs here for the Wolverines. Second hitter Joe Stewart up to the plate, facing a 2-1 count. Fourth pitch of the at-bat, here it comes. That one's high and away. Makes the count 3-1. So these Michigan hitters, Coley, working pitcher Sam Worsing quite early.
Yeah, and Worsing has had some troubles with his control, so they know if they can get him out of that rhythm, it'll work in their favor.
3-1 is outside for a walk. Elliott advances to second. Stewart takes first. As Michigan has 2 on with no out, and as you mentioned, Coley, some speed on those base paths, especially with Joe Stewart. So an extra base hit here from Matt Frye would probably be trouble and then some for Wright State.
Yeah, Clark Elliott with 11 stolen bases and Stewart with 15 in just 16 attempts. They account for well over half of the Wolverines' stolen bases on the year, and it's set up perfectly for these power hitters in the middle of the order to do some serious damage.
In steps Matt Frye, the third baseman, senior third baseman. With 2 on. First pitch is swung on, and it's a single. The right field side. Clark Elliott turning third. He's going to stay there. So Frye, hard hit single to the right side. Loads the bases here with no outs.
Yeah, exit velocity on that one, 103.7. It was lined to right field. And good decision by the third base coach there, holding Clark Elliott up in a situation where there's no outs in the first inning. You don't want to make that first out at home plate on a hit as sharp as that.
Jimmy Obertop, the catcher, steps in with the bases juiced. Sam Worsing in this Wright State defense facing a bit of trouble here in the first inning. First pitch is swung on and fouled back towards the parking lot, and that's the first of probably many foul balls that will hit a car or come close to it today. So that parking lot is right behind Ray Fisher Stadium. Wright State still leads 1-0, so they have that cushion, but it's not looking good here with the bases loaded for the Wolverines. Bottom 1 with no outs for Jimmy Obertop. Here comes the 0-1. That one's outside. Makes it 1-1.
Obertop is certainly one of the guys you want to have up here. All Big Ten third team in 2021, and the number 23 MLB draft prospect in the Big Ten, based on his hitting alone.
Here comes the 1-1. That one swung on, also fouled. Same spot. Makes it 1-2. Nice day here in Ann Arbor, although there is an overcast. It's been hot all day. It'll continue to be hot in the coming days. 1-2 for Obertop. Worsing from the stretch. Here he comes. That one swung on. Chopper to shortstop. McConnell is going to drop it. Error for the shortstop. McConnell scores a run. The Obertop saved his first, as is everybody else, as Michigan ties the game here at 1.
Yeah, the veteran shortstop, known for his defense more than his offense, makes a key mistake there. They were going to roll it up there. They had a very good shot at turning 2.
That was right to him. Just seemed to drop it. Way to hustle it out for everybody. Good base running. Scores a run. As the catcher, Sass, comes out to visit Worsing at the mound. Quick chat for those two. As Tito Flores prepping to step in the box for Michigan, the 5-hitter. Hitting .295 on the year with 10 home runs.
Yeah, those 10 home runs, tops on the team. You know the rest of that top of the lineup is looking to catch him. Elliott, Frye, Obertop sitting at 8, Stewart at 9. But it's Tito sitting in that 5 hole that's been knocking him over the fence.
One here would be huge for Michigan. Here comes the first pitch. That one is swung on and belted for a single to the left side. First run scores. Here comes the second one, but he holds up at third. So another single that scores a run for Michigan. They're up 2-1 now. Umpire signaling the Michigan dugout to return, as they like to pour out for their runs. Nevertheless, though, Tito Flores scores the second run of the inning for Michigan. Still no outs.
And another laser beam to the outfield. Obviously, if it was hit a little softer, you'd see a run score there. But when it gets out to the left fielder at 101, 102 miles an hour, there's nothing you can do. And Worsing merits a visit from the pitching coach already.
Another mound visit for Worsing. It's going to be 2 mound visits in 1 pitch, as Flores smoked a single to the left side, the first pitch of his at-bat. Joey Velasquez, who made the play back in the first inning in right, or back in the top of the first, rather, in right, will look to step into the box now, hitting .324 on the year as a dual sport athlete. Also rocking the pads for the football team.
Velasquez has been a revelation recently. He didn't get a lot of starts in the early part of the season, as you saw Flores locking up that left field spot as he is. Elliott locking up the right field spot. Today, Velasquez is in right field. Hasn't been a lot of space for him, but he's really come on in the latter part of the season, starting 10 games.
Velasquez working with the bases loaded. Worsing remains on the mound for the Raiders, as Velasquez waits for the first pitch. And here it comes. That one's inside. Velasquez starts the at-bat up 1-0. Flores at first, Obertop at second, and Frye at third. Still no outs here for the Wolverines. 2-1 ball game. They lead bottom of the first against the Wright State Raiders of Dayton, Ohio. Here comes the 1-0 for Velasquez. That one swung on, and fair ball. Good play by the first baseman, Anglin, though, who throws Flores out at second. So diving stop there for Anglin. Quickly turns and throws over to the shortstop, McConnell.
That was an excellent play by Anglin. That was right down the line. Any further, and it would have been foul. And if it got into that corner, it was going to be extra bases. Anglin is not known for his glove. He's already got 8 errors on the year, which is a little high for a first baseman. But he definitely did a great job getting his glove on that ball, knocking it down, and making a perfect throw from the ground, 2-second, getting a more lead runner.
Frye scored from third, so Michigan extends their lead to 2. They're up 3-1. First pitch for Bertram is skied into right field. Sayer trying to get under it, and he can. That's a 3-run shot for Riley Bertram. That came out of nowhere.
Wow.
First pitch. That one lofted into right field. Thought Sayer might have been able to get under it. Goes right over his head for the 3-run shot, as Michigan is now up 6-1.
Yeah, this is when you realize how tight these corners are here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Just 320 down that line.
Yep.
And with the low fence, the launch angle he put on that one was more than enough to clear it. And especially at just 88 miles an hour exit velocity, that ball wasn't crushed, but it just kept carrying.
That one was lofted. As Jordan Rogers getting a shot here in the lineup, he'll start at second. He is batting 8th for the Wolverines. Hits 180 on the year in 61 at-bats for Jordan Rogers. Here comes the first pitch. That one is just high and away. And you're going to wonder, Coley, how much longer will Sam Worsing last? Obviously not not a matchup within the same conference for Wright State. So you'd wonder, can they afford losing this game at the expense of, not throwing your pitchers and resting your arms? Maybe part of the reason they started Worsing, who has an 8.39 ERA. Third pitch by Rodgers is going to be foul down the right field line. 2-1 to him.
Yeah, I think you see Purdue-Fort Wayne coming up on their schedule, a team that Michigan lost to earlier in the year, and they're saying we can't afford to lose that game with the race as tight as it is in the Horizon League.
Michigan, 4 hits here in the bottom of the first as Rodgers files that one off as well. Evens the count here at 2-2.
Of course, we can't blame Worsing entirely for this. There was a costly
Yes.
error by McConnell at short that extended this inning.
Yes, that is correct. Fifth pitch makes it full as that one's outside to Jordan Rogers. Would be great for Eric Bakic if he could find another reliable hitter in this lineup, just increase the depth of this Michigan Wolverine offense. Sixth pitch, that's going to be check ball, going to go right to the first baseman, Anglin. Slow roller, he tosses it right to Worsing, who did a nice job covering to get the second out of the inning.
Yeah, a couple of unfamiliar names. Jordan Rogers, the junior from Chicago, backup catcher, backup outfielder, and as we're learning, backup second baseman.
Yes.
Giving Burton a day off for the first time in forever.
The home run kid, Ted Burton. Jake Marti steps into the box, swings in the first pitch, ground ball right to McConnell, who was playing basically up the middle. Marti did not beat it out. That was close. Real
Some
close.
wheels down the line.
Yeah. Way to be aggressive if you're Marti, though. He's hitting .062 on the year, and he looked like he nearly beat that one out.
Yeah, so Michigan bats around there in the bottom of the first. You said the Wolverines needed an answer, and they did that and then some.
That was an ace test right there. Michigan, as you said, Coley, 6-1 now as they score 6 in the bottom of the first on 4 hits, 1 error by the shortstop McConnell. Back to work is Jack White, who surely will appreciate the insurance given to him from his offense.
Very much in position for his first win of the year.
Yes.
If he can last a few more innings here.
It'll be Sammy Sass, Justin Reamer, and Justin McConnell for the Raiders, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters leading off this inning. As we head to the top of the second. This could be one Coley that has a lot of offense in it. Obviously, Jack White looking to limit that, restore his reputation.
Yeah, we can't sleep on Wright State's offense. We were talking earlier about how in 2021 they led the nation in batting average, on-base percentage, runs, doubles, and slugging percentage on their way to the NCAA tournament. Could not get out of their region, but threat to make it back this year for sure.
It'll be Sass to lead off for the Raiders, hitting .269 on the year. Excuse me, it looks like we're going to have a different pitcher. White has gotten relieved by Kieser, it looks like. It'll be Jake Kieser, the righty pitcher, relieving Jack White. So White goes 1 inning, gives up 1. Michigan offense responds nicely with 6 runs of their own, and Kieser to relieve White here in the top of the second. Any ideas on what that motive might be?
I guess maybe taking a page out of the Tampa Bay Rays book, using the opener, or maybe just this was a designated bullpen game. Obviously, playing Xavier last night, coming off that grueling matchup with Indiana over the weekend.
Yes.
Gave up a lot of runs, burned a lot of pitchers. Today, using that back end of the staff to get through the Raiders.
First pitch to Sammy Sass is high and in from Kieser. Kieser on the year sporting a 10.12 ERA. Second pitching quickly. That one's fouled back towards us. Evens the count at 1-1. Kieser has pitched 10.2 innings on the year, giving up 14 hits, 13 runs, 12 of which were earned. Third pitch is swung on and missed, 1-2 to Sammy Sass. What a name that is, huh?
Sammy Sass?
Yeah.
Sounds like a classic villain in an old Bond movie. Or maybe he's in The Mob.
1-2 is swung on and missed, so Kieser strikes out Sass.
Excellent placement of the fastball there, right off the outside edge and a little above the belt. Sass maybe took too big of a hack at it when he should have been looking to protect, maybe drive that ball the other way, and he just could not make contact.
Good start here for Kieser in the second, as Justin Reamer, the second baseman, will step in, hitting .300 on the year. First pitch to him is in for a strike. So we talked about pace earlier. Coley and Kieser, he seems to be working with some here.
Yeah, obviously you see him. He's loose out there on the mound, shaking out his arms. getting right back to the rubber and delivering.
Second pitch is also in for a strike. 0-2 now on Reamer. 6-1 Michigan leads. We're only in the top of the second. Leadoff home run for Wright State, but then Michigan responded with 6 runs of their own. And now we're here. Check swing by Reamer. Nice play there by Marty. Covers first for the out. So ground ball down the first base line. Slow roller. Nice play by the first baseman Marty to retire Reamer.
Yeah, got down on a knee to handle a bit of a tough hop. And then covered the base himself. Good work by the Michigan defense so far.
Justin McConnell will step in for the Raiders, hitting 206 on the year. First pitch to him is down for a ball.
Keiser's got a bit of an overstated delivery as he cocks his body all the way back, turns his shoulder towards second base almost before delivering the ball. Sometimes more exaggerated than others.
Yep. A lot of power in that windup. The 1-0 is inside for 2-0. Here comes the 2-0. That one swung on. It's going to be a chopper down the third baseline foul. Back towards the Michigan dugout. 2 outs here, top of the second. Justin McConnell at the plate, the 8-hitter for the Wright State Raiders. Jake Keiser. Here he comes with the 2-1. That one swung on and missed. That was a great pitch there by Keiser.
Absolutely.
Had McConnell fooled. That one came way inside.
Running in on the hands and still with a lot of speed.
The 2-2 is swung on and fouled. So I thought that was a swing and a miss there. Looks like McConnell might have gotten a piece of that. Stays alive here at 2-2.
Yeah, McConnell a bit of a light-hitting shortstop with that 206 average, but a veteran presence on this relatively young Wright State team.
The 2-2 goes behind McConnell, making it 3-2. So that one got away from Keiser.
A little jawing back and forth, although maybe just an apology. He lost his grip on that one very early in his delivery.
Makes the count full. Here it comes. That one swung on and skied to left field. Looks like Flores is going to be able to make a play, and he does. So Tito Flores retires McConnell. Good inning there for Jake Keiser as he goes 1-2-3. As we head to the bottom of the second for Michigan, top of the order due up. They went through the entire order in the first inning. Back up to Clark Elliott, followed by Stewart, and then by Frye. As the lead for Michigan remains 6-1.
Yeah, couldn't ask for more from Keiser there, obviously. Excellent inning. And you really liked the running action inside on the right-hander on that alternative fastball he's got. It proved a problem for a couple of hitters, especially in that last at-bat. McConnell, on his eventual flyout, he took a big hack. And that ball, which he could have barreled if it had been a four-seamer down the middle, ended up a little bit in on his hands, creating that softer contact.
It looks like Wright State will also employ a pitching change here in their second inning on defense. It'll be Tristan Hout.
Yeah, Tristan Hout is a big innings eater for these Raiders. He's got 31 innings on the season in 19 games. No starts. Does have a 6.61 ERA. But he's been one of their more reliable options out of the bullpen. The most innings of any non-starter.
Clark Elliott prepping to go here to lead off Michigan in the top of the second, bottom of the second, excuse me, as Haught is ready to deal to the top of the Michigan order. Elliott 1-for-1, singled to lead off the first for the Wolverines. He'll step in infield, playing Elliott straight up. First pitch to Elliott. That one's check swing right up the middle. Goes right back to Haught, the pitcher. He easily throws out Elliott at first. So Wright State, with a fortunate out there, is Clark Elliott. Seemed pretty reluctant on that swing.
Yeah, a little non-committal. The coaches are definitely going to tell him, hey, you have one of the prettiest swings in the Big Ten. You know, use it if you're gonna swing. Give it a rip, see what can happen. And he definitely just swing and bunt right back up the middle.
Joe Stewart quickly in the batter's box with 1 out. First pitch to him is in for a strike. Stewart had a base on balls in his first appearance back in the first inning. Also scored a run, 1 of 6 for Wolverines in the bottom of the first. Second pitch is high for a ball. Counts even at 1-1 for Joe Stewart. Here comes the 1-1. That one is swung on, chopper down the third base line. Patrick, quick throw, doesn't get him. Stewart beats it out. It's a chopper, tough play for the third baseman, Patrick.
Yeah, anytime you see a Joe Stewart ground ball go over to that left side, you're thinking all he needs is an ounce more of time, right? Whether it's the third baseman or shortstop has to range to one side, whether they have to backhand and double clutch, or whether, as in that instant, it just hangs up in the air for a little bit, chopping action. That's going to give him enough time.
Yep, Stewart with a lot of speed. Something to watch out for in the base pass. He's currently at first. Matt Frye steps in for the Wolverines. First pitch to him is just outside.
Yeah, Frye, the grad student from Pittsburgh, played for Davidson from 2017 to 2020. Missed all last season with a knee injury, and he's been back in full force this year. Very reliable and excellent defense at the hot corner.
Checking Stewart back at first is Hot. Stewart slides in safely. 1-0 to Frye, the third baseman. Had a single and a run scored an inning ago. Here comes the 1-0. That one is in for a strike. Good pitch there from Hot. Evens the count up at 1-1. Stewart at first. Elliott grounded out to start the inning. Michigan leads 6-1 here in the bottom of the second. Frye waits for the 1-1. Here it comes. That one is outside. Makes it 2-1.
I can see why Wright State goes to Hot a lot out of the bullpen. He's got the best stuff we've seen from a pitcher so far. He can light it up a little bit, getting that fastball up to 92, 93. He's got a key slider that he can work off the outside edge to this lefty.
Frye takes the third pitch down the right center gap, and he's going to get extra bases. Stewart hustling around second. He will head home from third. Frye is in for a double. Stewart scores safely. So Matt Frye continues his hot streak with his second hit in 2 innings as Joe Stewart scores easily for Michigan. Now they're up 7-1. Beautiful piece of hitting there from Matt Frye.
Yeah, Frye, his single in the first was a rocket at 104 miles an hour. He just made that look like a dribbler with a 110-mile-an-hour line drive. Didn't hit the ground until it was halfway to the fence. And, yeah, it was smoked. Got to the wall in a hurry.
Jimmy Obertop will step to the plate. Reached on an error in the first inning that scored 1. Frye at second, 7-1 Wolverines. First pitch to Obertop is swung on and missed. Big swing there from Jimmy. Frye at second after the RBI double that scored Joe Stewart. 1 out here, bottom 2. Michigan leads 7-1. The 0-1 to Obertop is checked on and called for a strike. Advancing to third is Frye, and he'll slide in safely as that got away from the catcher, Sammy Sass. So Frye advanced to third. Strike called on Obertop, so 0-2 to him. Tristan Hott looking to get out of this inning, surrendering only 1 run. It's going to be a tall task for him as Frye's at third with 1 out. 0-2 to Obertop, though, so opportunity here. Here comes the 0-2. That one is swung on and missed, so big strikeout for Tristan Hott.
Yeah, you see that. It might be a curveball, actually. That had a lot of vertical action. Maybe a slurve. But whatever it is, it's coming in at 82 miles an hour every time, and it's just dropping bats like flies here for Tristan Hott.
Tito Flores steps into the plate. Had an RBI single an inning ago. He's working with 2 outs and Frye on third here. First pitch to Tito is in for a strike. Flores hitting .299. I'm sure he'll want to cross that 300 threshold by the time the regular season ends. 10 home runs on the year for Flores, number 22. Infield playing him straight up. Hott preps and throws the 0-1. That one's a chopper. It's going to be foul. So Hott getting ahead a lot of these batters for Michigan. Struck out Obertop last batter. And Flores now sitting at 0-2.
Yeah, Flores has been prone to getting these 2-strike counts early. Got 38 strikeouts on the year now and just 16 walks. But he makes up for it with those tremendous power numbers.
The 0-2 is fouled away back towards the parking lot, so Flores fights to see another pitch. I'm sure Michigan would love to score. Frye from third. Frye waiting eagerly over there.
And Flores taking a little walk around the block, circling the plate and coming back to the right-hander's batter's box.
Tristan Hott sets. Here comes the 0-2 to Flores. That one is just high and away. Flores, another pace. Back towards the dugout, now steps back into the batter's box. Or he's prepping to, at least. Here he is.
Catcher Sass there, admitting to his manager the ball was up before his coach got in any arguments with the umpire.
It's a catcher that looks out for his coach. That one swung on. It's going to be a chopper. The shortstop, McConnell. Note the third baseman is going to take it, and he does not throw Tito Flores out. Third baseman, Patrick. Nice play there by him. Quick hands. But Flores barely beat it out, and it scores Matt Frye to extend the Michigan lead to 7. They are up 8-1 here in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, obviously it doesn't work out for the Raiders' third baseman, but I think that was the correct play. He had the angle. He was headed straight towards first. He didn't really have to square. As you said, hands were lightning fast in getting the ball over versus McConnell would have had to set himself a little bit more. Just another very high chopper that aids the Wolverines' offense.
So Flores reaches on a 2-out RBI infield single. A lot of words there. And Velasquez steps in now. That one almost got away from Sammy Sass, the catcher. He's able to keep it in front of him. It's a ball, though. So 1 out of Velasquez. Hitting .316 on the year is Joey on 37 plate appearances. Hott working from the stretch with Flores on first. Here it comes. That one swung on and missed. Evens the count at 1-1. For the burly Joey Velasquez, who we mentioned before, also plays football. I believe he's a linebacker.
He looks like it.
Yeah, he looks like
For
a
those
linebacker.
of you who can't see him, you can tell.
Yeah, that is not the normal physique of a baseball player, and all credit to him. That's a compliment. As he waits for the 1-1, here it comes. That one is low and in, making the count 2-1. Flores at first. Michigan 2 runs in this inning, following the 6-run first inning. And they sit with an 8-1 lead here early against Wright State. This could be a long offensive game. Velasquez waits for the 2-1. Here it comes. That one is in, gets away from the catcher. Sass. Flores taking out for second. He'll reach standing up. So Flores in scoring position. Another opportunity for Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan opening up this 7-run lead, you think total domination. Obviously, to some extent it has been. But there's been a lot of plays like that. Passed balls, errors in the field, unlucky choppers to go along with those blazing swings off the bat of the likes of Matt Frye and Riley Bertram. But, yeah, Wright State can't be counted off because their offense can get them back in it in a hurry.
3-1 to Velasquez is swung on. It's going to be a chopper right back to the pitcher, Hott. He'll easily throw out Joey. And that ends a 2-run second inning for the Wolverines. They extend their lead to 8-1 as we head to the top of the third. Looks like Kieser will remain on the mound for Michigan after going 1-2-3 in the second. See how many pitches Michigan can squeeze out of him. As they're up 8-1. And Coley, at this point in the game, with this big of a lead, obviously Michigan, they're going to stay in it in terms of their mentality. But is there going to be some, strategizing in terms of who you're going to go to in the bullpen for the long run? Just, with the Big Ten tournament coming up late in the year, there's going to be some thought about the future during this game, though.
Yeah, anyone who's been pitching in high-leverage situations over these past few games, obviously this is our 5th game in 6 days.
Yep.
We're not going to see those guys, those Jacob Denner-level guys who are going to be important this weekend in College Park. Obviously, you love the extra day of rest, but you can't let it get out of hand, right? As long as the offense is adding points on the board, it doesn't matter what the pitching is giving up. But if they start to creep back in this game and they need to shut the door, Eric Bakich is not going to let the Wolverines lose this game. Unacceptable with the way that they've been playing recently.
Yes.
They need this big win just to boost their confidence going into this key stretch.
Well said. In Michigan, heading an 8-1 lead as the batter Andrew Patrick, the third baseman at the bottom of the order, will step in for the Raiders. First pitch to him is low for a ball. Michigan leading 8-1 as we start at the top of the third. Wright State looking to get back in it. The second pitch is belted to the right center gap, but Velasquez will get there quickly. That one tailed towards Joey. He'll make the catch. So 1 out here in 2 pitches for Jake Kieser, who just keeps on rolling.
Yeah. Obviously, that pitch hit pretty hard, but not necessarily barreled, and as you said, had that tailing action because he couldn't get all of it. So Kieser's placement has been phenomenal, and it's keeping these Raiders batters on their toes.
So in steps Julian Greenwell, the only hit and the only run for the Raiders so far. He led off the game with a home run. That was against Jack White. We'll see how Jake Kieser wants to pitch him. That one is belted down the right field line again, but it's going to be foul. Lucky enough for the Wolverines. Jake Kieser showing off, Greenwell showing off some major power.
Yeah, that one might have been hit better than the first one, but pulled a little too hard.
Some nerves went through me. That's right around where my car is parked. Luckily, it went over the building.
And you were smart enough to park it far, thinking no one's going to hit it there.
Julian Greenwell has other ideas. Takes next pitch for a strike. It's going to be 1-2. Here it comes. That one is low and in, evening the count at 2-2. Julian Greenwell seems to be the only threat that this Raider offense has posed to Michigan through 2 innings. We're now in the top of the third with 1 out. The 2-2 is outside, making the count full. At 3-2, we'll see if Greenwell can get on base for the second time. Here comes the full count pitch. That one is swung on. It's going to be high fly ball foul down the third base line. So Greenwell fighting to stay alive. Not his pitch there.
Yeah, but looking at this guy in the box, you can see why he's leading the Horizon League in OPS. He's got a beautiful swing. Tremendous bat-to-ball skills, except on that one as he swings through strike 3.
Greenwell strikes out. Jake Kieser avenges his fellow pitcher Jack White and strikes out the dangerous Greenwell for the second out of the inning. As Alex Sayer, the right fielder, steps to the plate for the Raiders. First pitch is high for a ball. So Kieser looks a lot better than that 8.76 ERA would seem to characterize him. The second pitch is in for a strike. Kieser has retired his first 5 batters that he's seen in this one.
Yeah, hasn't gone more than 2 innings yet, and his last couple outings, he fouls one off there, were pretty rough. Gave up 2 runs, getting just 2 outs. April 23rd against Ohio State. Gave up 4 runs, we're getting 5 outs against Notre Dame. Obviously, those are a couple of quality teams.
Second pitch is fouled back. Third pitch is outside.
But yeah, maybe he had some injury issues, shut him down for a few weeks, or maybe they just have been working on him in the pen on the days off, getting his mechanics straight for this game.
Next pitch is outside, makes the count full with 2 outs.
That was an excellent changeup.
Sayer didn't bite. Here comes the full count. That one is low. So first base runner here for Jake Keyser as Alex Sayer, the 2-hitter, draws a 2-out walk for Jay Lucart. He'll look to provide some life into this struggling Raider offense. With Sayer on first after the walk. Keyser sets. First pitch to Lucart is fouled down the third base line. Back towards the Michigan bullpen. 0-1 to Lucart.
Lucart, a guy who wasn't getting consistent at-bats before this season in his career, but it's definitely paid off with that .299 average.
Second pitch is way inside. Evens the count at 1-1.
I think something that the staff saw in him last year was definitely his ridiculous walk rate. Walked 18% of the time in 2021.
Third pitch is swung on, back to the track, to the wall. It looks like it's gone, but the umpire calls it foul. That one was high and clearly out of bounds. Excuse me, foul ball. First base umpire Robert Ginther calls that one foul. Had a good view on it.
It was close, but I agree. I think it was clear for first base umpire. I don't know if we mentioned the umps. That's Robert Ginther out there. Behind the plate is Jacob Botek tonight.
Next pitch is popped up in the infield. Shortstop Bertram is under it, makes the catch, and retires Lucart to end the top of the third as we head to the bottom of the third. Good pitching there by Jake Keyser. Had a couple home run scares that ended up being foul.
Yeah. It's always a good sign when they're blasting it 450 feet, but they can't quite time it up.
Exactly. Yeah. So good start for Michigan after surrendering the leadoff home run to start the game. They are up 8-1 as we head to the bottom of the third inning on a beautiful but hot day here in Ann Arbor. I mean, hot to what we've been accustomed to in these last 5 or so months.
Yeah, 80 degrees right now, even at nearly 7 o'clock here in Ann Arbor. I don't know about you, but I can't remember it getting to 8 degrees until about July last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly hot out here in Ann Arbor.
Although I believe that anyone south of Cincinnati would be saying that this is about perfect weather.
You're right, yeah. Just so used to the cold, I'm here year-round, so it kind of caught me off guard a little bit.
It's a shame that most of, not all of, but most of the students just left a couple weeks ago.
They just missed it, man. They just missed it.
Just missed this week.
For those who've stayed, enjoy it, because you'll be back here next year if you haven't graduated, and you know how it is between November in April. I mean, I remember it snowed in mid-April. So this weather's unpredictable. I think we're past that, though.
I don't know. Maybe it'll start, snowing snowballs like it was.
That would be crazy.
Sass certainly put some mustard on that throw down as they finish it up around the horn. Nearly took off his pitcher's head there.
Looks like we have a new pitcher as well. Looks like it was number 41 on the mound. That is Donnie Nicodemus. We'll confirm that as soon as we find out. First pitch to Riley Bertram is high. Bertram hit the towering 3-run shot back in the first inning. Part of this large Michigan lead. They're up 8-1 right now. Here comes the 1-0. That one is called for a strike. Bertram, the senior, hitting 7th in the inning, 268 average on the year. Here comes the 1-1. That one is also in for a strike.
Yeah, Nicodemus, the senior from Eaton, Ohio, 6'2", and a big guy out there, nearly 240 pounds. Adds a little power to his heater.
Yep. So third pitcher for Raiders as Bertram stays alive by fouling it back. Count remains 1-2. We have seen a total of 5 pitchers, and we're not even through 3 innings. That's how this game has gone offensively, at least for Michigan. They have 8 runs. Here comes the 1-2 to Bertram. That one is swung on. Chopper towards second. Reamer makes the play. Bertram almost beat that out, though. One out here.
Another one of those choppers that gives any decent runners got a chance. But Reamer charged hard, didn't get complacent, letting the ball come to him. Clean glove to hand action, and definitely Bertram made it close, but Reamer was not going to allow that to happen again.
So Bertram retired by Reamer, as you said, stuck with the play and made it. Now Jordan Rogers will step in for the Wolverines. First pitch is outside for a ball, 1-0. Rogers, a Chicago native, hitting 177 on the year. Here comes the 1-0. That one is also called for a ball, 2-0 now. Rogers with a home run on the year. Here comes the 2-0. That one, Rogers thought about it. Goes down to the first base umpire. He says he did not go around. So count is now at 3-0 for Mr. Jordan Rogers. Nicodemus continues to deal from the mound. Third pitcher we've seen. He retired Bertram, the first hitter of the inning. Here comes the 3-0. That one is called for a strike. Makes the count 3-1.
Nicodemus finally able to groove one in there. You wonder if that helps him set up a little rhythm here. Nope.
Yeah, that one's high. So Rogers draws the 1-out walk. As Jake Marty, who had a nice line drive ground ball sort of hit down the first base line. Good play there by the first baseman, Anglin, though.
So Rogers out there at first. You know, you look at him, he's 5'9". He's a bulky, muscular guy, but he's got 5 stolen bases on the year in 5 attempts, so he could be looking to go.
And Rogers has only played 28 games. Well, that's a lot given the amount of playing time he's seen. As Jake Marty steps to the plate, he's been struggling this year, .059 average. First pitch is in for a ball, though. So let's see if Marty can get that hit he so desires. The 1-0 from Nicodemus is in for a strike, 1-1 to Marty. Michigan faithful voicing their opinion as to that one. That call there by Jacob Botek, the home plate umpire. Here comes the 1-1. Nope, it's going to be a throwback for Rogers. That nearly got away from first baseman Garrick Anglin, but he was able to keep it in front of him. 1-1 to Jake Marty. 1 out here, bottom third. Michigan leads 8-1.
I wonder if that was a little hustle there. If that's Nicodemus's best, I think Rogers has got to be thinking about going.
Next pitch is low. Makes the count 2-1. Rogers certainly a threat to steal there at first.
But as you were saying, Owen, Marty has had a tough year with that .059 average.
Nicodemus checks Rogers again at first. Rogers scampers back safely. So clearly worried about the speed of Jake Rogers there at first.
I think it was a bit of a hustle. I think that first one was a little slow motion action, and then he tried to speed him up there with his pickoff move.
Rogers stays at first as Marty takes a ball high. Rogers playing a sizable lead out there. Anglin Garrick holding him on at first. Garrick Anglin, excuse me. Rocking that classic baseball name.
Yeah, his parents must have known.
Yep.
Must have known.
Now he's starting at first for the Wright State Raiders. Here comes the 3-1 to Marty. Rogers takes off for second. That is called for a ball, so it doesn't matter. Nice slide there by Rogers, though.
He looks good doing it.
Yeah. So not going to go down as a stolen base for Rogers, although he probably would have gotten there. He was flying down that base path. As Clark Elliott steps in, Marty draws a one-out walk. So 2 on for Clark Elliott, who had a single to kick off all of this Michigan offense back in the first.
Sammy Sass making this mound visit, maybe just reminding him, you really didn't want to let Rogers and Marty get on there, a couple of backups. Now you got to be a little more precise dealing with Clark Elliott.
Yep.
Cape Cod batting leader last season, obviously a prestigious summer league. Draw some of the top college players in the country.
Marty has reached first base 3 times this year, and he has 2 stolen bases, so that talks to his speed. First pitch, Clark lines it. It's going to be a fair ball, barely down the right field line. That's going to score some runs. Here comes Rogers. He scores. Marty coming from third. He'll head home as well, and he scores. Clark Elliott, a 2 RBI double, as Michigan is now up 10-1.
Excellent piece of hitting. Excellent placement there, too. Right down the line. Getting into that corner, letting Marty and Rogers do their thing. A little speed on the bases there for the Wolverines. Elliott taking advantage of it.
Elliott continues his hot streak. He is 2 for 3 now as Joe Stewart steps into the box. Walked in the first, singled in the second. He'll look to potentially score Elliott here. 1 out. Here comes the first pitch from Nicodemus. That one is fouled back towards the parking lot. Michigan up 10-1. Here, bottom of the third. Donnie Nicodemus, the third pitcher we've seen today from the Wright State Raiders, is on the mound. He just gave up a 2 RBI double to Clark Elliott, though. And now he works against Joe Stewart. Here comes the 0-1. That one is swung on and missed. Good pitch there from Nicodemus.
Slowed him down. 78 miles an hour and off the outside corner.
Changing speeds is Nicodemus. 0-2 count, excuse me. Here comes the 0-2. That one is swung on. It's going to be a dribbler up the middle. Second baseman Sayer trying to make a play on it, and he doesn't. The speed of Joe Stewart beats it. Beats the throw. Runners on the corners now.
Once again, you just, as long as it's not a dribbler, or as long as it's not a hard hit right at the first baseman, he's got a chance, right?
That was his second infield single today, right?
And pretty significantly hit. Obviously, it was a tough play for Reamer. But Reamer was already feinting towards second base, trying to get a little pick-off action on Clark Elliott out there. So he's in position, had to throw across his body, but Stewart is just too fast.
Stewart a threat to steal second base with that open. Here's Matt Frye, swings at the first pitch. It's going to be fouled back left side. That one hit something. Count is 0-1 to the third baseman, Matt Frye. He has 2 for 2 today. The single in the first, a double in the second. Runners on the corners for him. Stewart at first, Elliott at third. Here's the 1-1. That one tails outside. Evens the count at 1-1. 10-1 Michigan leads here, bottom 3. As they have been on fire offensively, part of the reason that Wright State has gone to their third pitcher. It's currently Donnie Nicodemus on the mound for the Raiders. Comes the 1-1. That one's also outside. Makes it 2-1.
Little trouble pulling down his off-speed pitches there on consecutive offerings from Nicodemus.
Couple balls in the last 2 pitches. Here comes the 2-1. That one is inside and high. Making the count 3-1.
Put it in a good place. Any place is a good place if Matt Frye doesn't want to swing at it right now. He's been on fire.
Looks like Obertop is going to get subbed out. It's currently Casey Buckley in the on-deck circle as Frye walks. So bases loaded for Buckley, the senior catcher. As here comes the pitching coach for the Raiders, a little meeting in the infield. Outfielders as well meeting up. As Nicodemus will be relieved. He gives up 2 runs here in the third. Bases juiced here for backup catcher Casey Buckley. Number 50, the senior catcher. As number 12 for Wright State, Logan Tabling will take the mound. He's a righty sophomore. Michigan leads 10-1 here, bottom 3.
Yeah. Speaking to your point earlier, Owen, about this being a non-league game, and we might see some obscure pitchers, Logan Tabling, with just 4 innings pitched on the year, 13.15 ERA. What that amounts to is 7 earned runs in those 4 innings. And yeah, I think this might be the equivalent of throwing in the towel here in this one.
Yep. Early lead for Michigan. They're up 9. They've just been on fire offensively today, hitting .529 and 17 at-bats. With runners on, Michigan is 7 of 11. 3 extra base hits for the Wolverines tonight. As Wright State goes to their 4th pitcher. Not even through 3 innings for them. We'll be right back on WCBN Sports.
So here we are, back at Ray Fisher Stadium. Casey Buckley coming up to the plate, the lefty, 111 average on the year. Swings through the first pitch. That's a fastball.
Thank you for covering for me, Coley. Buckley, as Coley mentioned, 1-1-1 on the year. Backup catcher here. Right, Bakich getting some of his reserves some playing time. Never know when they'll be needed. Buckley swings to the second pitch. That's a high fly ball out to right field. Is that one going to get out? And it does for the senior catcher, Casey Buckley. How about that?
His teammates are absolutely loving it. They're all out of the dugout to clap for this guy. You know that he's been with the program for long enough, that he's earned their respect despite limited playing time. And they love to see their guy just smoke one. 96 miles an hour off the bat. And like Bertram's, just a mile in the air.
An offensive onslaught here for the Wolverines. We're not even through 3 innings, and they have put up 14 runs. As backup catcher Casey Buckley gets in on the action. And one of the last players that Logan Tabling and Wright State want to see step to the plate is Tito Flores. He is 2 for 2. He's got 2 singles. Both are RBI singles. Finally got that average above 300. He's now at 303 on the year. Here comes the first pitch. One's outside.
I think they got to get Tito across the plate here. He's the only Michigan hitter that hasn't scored a run today. And he has those 2 hits.
Only Michigan hitter that hasn't scored a run. Wow. That is some stat, especially considering the fact we're not even through 3 innings. 2 1/3 offensive innings for Michigan. As Flores takes the second pitch for a ball. 2-0 to him. Velasquez waiting patiently on deck. The 2-0. One is down, makes it 3-0 on Tito.
He might get his run yet if we get him on base here. And Velasquez has been hitting the ball well. Bertram obviously been hitting the ball well.
There's a home run in this game. Bertram does.
No reason to not keep the rally going.
Next pitch is a ball, so Tito walks. One on for Michigan here as Joey Velasquez steps to the plate. Flores at first for Michigan. Velasquez to the plate. Takes the first pitch for a ball.
Yeah, definitely want to see Velasquez keep it going. There's no reason for Michigan to take the foot off the gas pedal here. Obviously, Obertop's out and Buckley's in, so maybe getting some.
Velasquez swings at the third pitch. It's going to be a sky-high ball out to left field. Greenwell makes the play. Flores back to first. So 2 outs here. A needed out for the Raiders, but you have to imagine. Are they going to try and come back? They're down 13 right now. Still early, but with the way Michigan's hitting, I mean, the fact that the backup catcher came in and hit a home run.
I think definitely you could see some late season appearances for the seniors, for the vets who don't get a lot of time, or maybe some freshmen that haven't played in a while. Just get those guys in some real game action.
First pitch for Bertram is going to be a double down the right center gap, as that will probably score Flores, and it does. So Bertram, 2-out RBI double, extends the Michigan lead to 14. They are up 15-1 right now, folks.
I love how nonchalant we can be about. I mean, that ball was pretty well hit, well stroked out into the gap.
I apologize for my my calmness, but we've seen that.
Yeah, we've seen about 7 of those so far. 7 runs in this inning now.
So Bertram at second with 2 outs as Jordan Rogers steps in. He's 0 for 1, but he walked in the third, hitting 177 on the year. These are the type of players you want to see do something productive at the plate if you're a Wolverines fan. That one almost got away from the catcher, Sass. Tracks it back down, though. And if Michigan can build that depth as you get into that critical part of the year, that will be much more helpful for Coach Eric Bakich and this staff. 1-0 to Rogers. That one's outside.
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more, Owen. As you go into this Rutgers, Maryland, Big Ten tournament stretch, you don't know who's going to be pinch hitting. You don't know who's going to have to get a spot start, maybe in game 2 or 3 if someone's sore. And you love to have guys like Rogers just ready to go, ready to fill their position.
Rogers takes that one outside, makes the count 3-0. So Rogers on pace here for his second walk of the game. Here comes the 3-0, and that one is a ball. Looks awfully close. Umpire Botek calls it a ball, though. So Rogers on first, Bertram on second for Jake Marty. Another opportunity for Marty for an RBI.
That's the second time that Rogers has walked in this inning alone. That's the type of afternoon, evening that it's been for the Wolverines and for this Raiders pitching staff. 7
runs in this inning, the bottom of the third for the Wolverines. First pitch to Marty is swung on, and that's going to be a hit. Jake Marty potentially doubles. First run is going to score from Bertram, and Marty does double. Rogers holds up at third, and that's got to be big for Jake Marty. The type of hit he needed.
You see him celebrating out there at second, signaling to the bench. They know how much he needed that one. And an excellent piece of hitting, sending it to the opposite gap, just staying on a fastball, coming in there at 90 miles an hour, sent it out at 105. Great work from Jake.
So Clark Elliott hitting .350 on the year, 2 for 3 today with 2 RBIs and 2 runs, will step in for the Wolverines. 8 runs in the third, 2 runs in the second, and 6 runs in the first. That's the kind of offensive day it's been for Michigan. Tabling first pitch is high and away. .1-0 to Elliott. He's 2 for 3 today. It seems like every pitcher that Wright State throws at Michigan, Michigan has an answer for. Here's the 1-0. That one is a single in between the second and first baseman. That's going to score Rogers. Here comes Marty. The throw is not in time. Jake Marty scores.
Seems like we were just watching Clark Elliott knock in Jordan Rogers and Jake Marty. Oh, that was the beginning of the inning.
Yep.
Second time he's done that.
So some deja vu, some same inning deja vu for Michigan as they extend their lead to, guess it, folks, 17. They are up 18-1, and we're not even through 3 innings yet.
We have officially run out of space on the scoreboard. It says that the Wolverines have scored 0 in the bottom of the third.
It's supposed to be 10. So 10 runs for Michigan in the third. As Joe Stewart, who is 2 for 2, steps up. First pitch is in there for a strike. Logan Tabling. Michigan really not helping Tabling out in the ERA category. His ERA is up to 21.6. Stewart, here comes the second pitch. That one swung on and missed.
Of course, for Tabling, that's not a far cry from where it was to start. And yeah, part of this game is Michigan is heating up, and part of this game is Wright State has given up and is trying to get some guys hot, trying to get some guys reps, as you see with a guy like Tabling in this inning.
The 1-2 is barely fouled off by Stewart as he stays alive. We'll see. We were talking about the future earlier, Coley. The short-term future, how Michigan wants to approach these last 7 innings in this game. Still got a while to go in this one. As the 1-2 is swung on and missed, which ends the inning. And does Michigan get their reserves going, right? Not risking injury, but also, like we've said and mentioned, maybe you're going to find a hidden gem in there, which would add to the depth of this Michigan team. And we'll see what they want to do here as Eric Bakic and his club are up 18-1 through 3 innings as we head to the top of the 4th. Jake Keyser will probably stay on for the Wolverines. He has only given up a walk through 2 innings, 2 strikeouts, no hits.
Looks like we got Walker Cleveland coming out of the dugout now.
So Keyser is done after 2. And as you mentioned, Coley, Walker Cleveland heading out towards the mound for Michigan, the senior lefty.
Yeah, maybe another instance. We saw Jack White earlier, hadn't pitched in a while. The senior getting some action. Here we see Walker Cleveland. He's been a little more involved. He does have 4 starts, 12 appearances on the year. 8.72 ERA has kind of pushed him to the back of that pitching staff. But he's pitched 21 innings. Hasn't had much success controlling the zone, just 11 strikeouts and 20 walks, and sporting a .268 batting average against. But you got to give him an opportunity here. You know Wright State's hitters aren't going anywhere, and they've been a formidable offense all year. So trying to get him back on track. Maybe he can come back in a high-leverage situation down the road.
So with the exception of Buckley, who was subbed in last half inning, Michigan's defense will remain the same. Cleveland taking over for Keyser on the mound, who had an excellent outing for the Wolverines. It was Jack White who started. He was good other than the leadoff home run by the dangerous Julian Greenwell, who hits .322 anyways. So, besides that, Michigan's had a stellar day defensively. Offensively, obviously, they have 18 runs through 3. So they've been great on both sides of the diamond. Looking a little sloppy here in the warm-ups, though. I hate to be picky. We had one throw over Cleveland's head during the pitching, and this one, usually the throw down to second is what they do to end the warm-ups and go into the inning. That one got past both the second baseman Rogers and the shortstop Bertram.
Get the feeling that it's been a while since Casey Buckley's been behind the plate.
Credit to him, though. He did hit the home run. Here's Garrick Anglin to lead off the inning for the Raiders. First pitch is inside for a ball. Even the scoreboard technicians getting a little lazy. They currently have it 2-2 count with 2 outs. That was the situation last inning. I'm sure they're doing what they can.
Briefly went to a 2-3 count there.
The 1-1 quickly. That one's fouled off down the third base line. Makes it 1-2 for Garrick Anglin. First plate appearance, he walked all the way back in the first inning. We are here top of the 4th. Michigan leads 18-1. Yes, folks, they lead 18-1 through 3 innings. Walker Cleveland currently on the mound. That one is popped up. Who's going to get to it? Center fielder Stewart makes the play. One out quickly for Michigan. Walker Cleveland, good start. Stepping up to the plate now for the Raiders. It's going to be Harris, Zane Harris. The DH, the lefty DH, hitting .255 on the year, 6 home runs for Harris, number 39. First pitch from Cleveland to Harris is in there for a strike.
Excellent change up there. And given the way that he can get his arm out and coming across his body, I'm sure to Harris it looked like that was going to be inside corner at the best, probably inside. But it just kept traveling, just kept dropping, ended up down the middle.
Second pitch is also in there for a strike. So 0-2.
Little confusion on the call from the umpire there.
2-1 now is the count, excuse me. So that first pitch looked like it was a ball. Second pitch a strike. We just had the ball, so 2-1 now. Here it comes. That one is swung on and hit to center field right at Stewart, but he's going to have to run back a little bit, and he makes the play. Joe Stewart stayed right where he was. Then he realized, oh, crap, I got to go behind me. The ball's hit harder than I thought. Sprints behind him with his speed, makes the play.
Yeah, you don't expect Stewart to be caught off guard by a guy like Zane Harris's power. Zane Harris with some considerable size and that power background as a DH. But Stewart, yeah, his speed saved him there on a bad read.
So in steps Sass, the catcher. First pitch is fouled.
Just to quantify Zane Harris's impressive size, he's 6'5", 250, redshirt senior.
Second pitch is laced by Sass. It's going to be the second Raider hit of the day, all the way back to the left field wall, but good cutoff there from the left fielder. Holding Sass to only a single. That was Flores. Nice cutoff by him. So second hit of the day for the Raiders as Justin Reamer, the 7-hitter, steps to the plate. Raiders are down 18-1. The Michigan offense has had perhaps the best day of the year, only through 3 innings. As Reamer, first pitch is swinging. Back goes Stewart. That one's tailing to the right side, and it's going to get down. Some extra bases for Justin Reamer. Runner from third scores. That's Sass. So the second run of the day for the Raiders comes in the form of a Justin Reamer double.
Yeah, Reamer's been a revelation for this Raiders lineup. Everyone else has 40 starts in this lineup. Reamer's only at 25 because it took him a little bit to lock down that starting position. Maybe the defense isn't quite where you wanted it. Wasn't enough to stand out in the early spring camp. But now he is firmly entrenched in that offense.
In steps Justin McConnell, the 8-hitter. He's 0 for 1 today. So Reamer at second after the RBI double. Score is 18-2 here, top of the 4th. Walker Cleveland with some early struggles here on the mound. That pitch is swung on and missed. Evens the count at 1-1.
Yeah, Walker Cleveland is a guy who, coming out of Georgia, kind of a big recruit for the Wolverines. Came on as a freshman, was immediately impactful.
The next pitch is swung on sky high in the infield. First baseman Marty is under it, and he makes the play to end the inning. So one run for the Raiders, but they're going to need a lot more than that to catch up. Michigan still boasting a humongous lead. They're up 18-2 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. For Michigan, going to be Frye, Buckley, and Flores. The 3, 4, and 5 hitters are due up. Some stats, Michigan hitting .565 today as a team. They are 13 of 23. But their damage has really been done with runners on. They're 11 of 17 in that situation. 9 of 13 with runners in scoring position. In 4 of 7 when there are 2 outs. So the Michigan offense has done quite the amount of damage to this Raider pitching.
Yeah, they're firing on all cylinders, as you said, especially with runners on. But the reality is there's been runners on all day.
Yep.
And they're doing a good job bringing them across the plate. No one's shying away. Everyone's piling on at this point. And seeing the guy in front of you, seeing the guy behind you, put good swings on the baseball, even if you're coming off an out, some of these guys maybe got set down once, came right back, laced one into the gap. The confidence is just brimming for this Michigan squad right now.
Third baseman Matt Frye will step in, and he's had a great day so far. He's 2 for 2. He's got a single, a double, and then drew a walk back in the third. This will be his 4th plate appearance in 4 innings. Tabling remains on the mound for Wright State. He's the only Wright State pitcher today to appear in more than 1 inning. First pitch is in there for a strike to Frye. 0-1 count. Second pitch is swung on. First baseman. Pitcher covering. Tabling covers nicely. Good play by the first baseman there, Englund, to retire Frye for the first time today.
Yeah, definitely good play by Englund, angling to his right and getting the ball back to Tabling. Tabling doing himself a favor in the field there. Maybe dropping his ERA by about a run there. Getting that out.
Yep. Some more action in the Michigan bullpen as Casey Buckley, the backup catcher, who hit a home run in his first at-bat today, steps in. That was a grand slam, actually, from Casey Buckley. I didn't even realize that there's been so many runs today. We're at 18-2 is the score here in Ray Fisher Stadium from Ann Arbor. Count to Buckley is 1-1. We have 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Pitcher Logan Tabling, the retired Matt Frye to start the inning. Here comes the 1-1. That one is swung on and missed. Big wave and a miss there from Buckley. Makes the count 1-2.
Yeah, you love to see Buckley get involved a little bit. They sent him in last night in the Xavier game. Got 3 at-bats, walked in one of them.
1-2 is swung on and missed. Going to be a drop third strike. Catcher makes the play nicely. That's Sass behind the plate. As Buckley tries to hustle it out, he'll get caught. So 2 outs for Tito Flores, who is 2 for 2 today. He's got 2 singles and a walk. He has made a plate appearance every inning. And this is his 4th one today, folks. We are in the bottom of the 4th, and this is Tito Flores' 4th plate appearance. That's the type of day that Michigan's had offensively. Just going through the order. Here comes the first pitch to Flores. That one is in for a strike. So Tabling has looked good here in this inning, easily so far. The best defensive and pitching inning for the Raiders. They have given up no runs here in the bottom of the 4th. Second pitch is outside.
And for those of you who are wondering, Tito Flores did get his elusive run on the board on the Riley Bertram double. So every batter who has come to the plate for Michigan has crossed it again for a Michigan run.
Every batter +1 as well, since Overtop scored, then got subbed out for the backup catcher, Casey Buckley, who hit a home run. So
yeah, he scored the instant that he stepped into the batter's box.
The 1-1 to Flores, thought about it. Doesn't matter. It was a strike called anyway. Count is now 1-2 for Tito. Tabling kind of getting in the groove here in the 4th. At this point, it's got to be more than that for the Raiders, though, if they want any shot at this. Offensively, they just need to get on fire, and they need to get on fire quickly. They're down 16 right now. Here's the 2-2. That one's going to be a dribbler to the second baseman, Reamer. He makes the play. Retires Flores, so the best defensive inning for the Raiders. And the only inning so far that Michigan has not scored in. Lead remains 18-1 for the Wolverines as we head to the top of the 5th. We'll see if Walker Cleveland stays on. It looks like he's not going to, so another pitching change for the Wolverines. This will be, what, the 4th pitcher for Michigan? Maybe the 5th?
Yeah, 4th pitcher. We did see 2 innings out of Jake Keyser, but only got 1 out of Jack White. And Walker Cleveland, despite looking fairly sharp, gave up a run, but maybe a better outing than he's had most of the year. And it's interesting with Cleveland. Like I said, he came in as a freshman, had an excellent year. In his first season, 4.23 ERA, pitched nearly 40 innings, got 3 starts in his 15 appearances, and limited hitters to a 220 batting average. And he's kind of struggled since then on the career. ERA still sits at 5.90, 255 batting average against. Extra base hits have been an issue. Walks have been an issue. But you'd love to see him kind of get back in a groove. He had been a big part of the team early in the year. And now, who is coming in?
It's going to be number 34, Ahmad Harajuli for the Wolverines, the sophomore. Righty. Throws a 12.86 ERA in 13 appearances on the year. He does have 1 save to his name, only 7 innings pitched. He's given up 11 hits, and 10 runs in those 7 innings, along with 14 walks and 10 strikeouts. So Harajuli looking to get back on track in what's otherwise been a tough season for him pitching.
Yeah, 6'4", 240 sophomore, out of Dearborn, but played the final season of his high school career at IMG Academy in Florida, one of the top destinations for star athletes in high school. Seen many NBA prospects, many NFL prospects come out of there.
Michigan's QB, J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
Product of IMG as well.
Exactly. So he's got the potential. They see the potential in him. This is exactly what you were alluding to earlier. These guys with potential, these guys at the end of their careers, getting some opportunities out here against what is still a quality Wright State offense.
Andrew Patrick, the 9-hitter in the order, will step in to face Harajuli. Thought about the first pitch, ended up not swinging, doing so wisely, took it inside for a ball. 1-0.
Speaking of guys with potential, Andrew Patrick, day 1 starter as a freshman. Takes a ball there, but he's also got 13 stolen bases and 11 extra base hits, including 5 home runs this year. He's going to be a big part of their foundation in years to come.
The 2-0 was belted down the third baseline foul. Makes the count 2-1. Patrick hitting .344 on the year with 5 home runs. And as you mentioned, Coley, going to be a big part of this Wright State team going forward. Infield plays Patrick straight up. Here comes the 2-1. That one swung on. It's going to be a single, possibly more up the middle. That one is cut off by the center fielder, and Patrick pushing for 2, and he will get there safely. So a leadoff double for freshman Andrew Patrick. And that's the kind of hits that Wright State's going to need if they want any chance of getting back in this one.
Surprisingly, we're going to see a substitution here.
It's going to be Avery Fisher, the freshman. He's going to sub in for Julian Greenwell, who is one of the Raiders' best hitters. And he's been one half of their offense today. He's had a solo home run back in the first. So Avery Fisher will step in for him, takes the first pitch high for a ball. Fisher on the year hitting .213 with 3 home runs. Harajuli still working after the leadoff double. Here comes the 1-0. Takes off for third is the runner. That one's foul, though. So Patrick took off for third. Got lucky for a foul ball. I don't think Frye or the catcher Buckley were expecting that. Frye's over at third. Michigan now well aware of Patrick's possible intentions. As Fisher awaits the 1-1, Harajuli working from the stretch with Patrick on second. Here comes the 1-1. That one is in for a strike. Good pitch there from Ahmad Harajuli. Makes the count 1-2. (18-2) is our score. Top 5. With no outs. Wright State batting right now. Runner on second. As the freshman Avery Fisher, takes that one for a ball. 2-2 count to Fisher. Patrick on second base.
Harajuli does look like he has tools. Definitely got some whip on that arm.
2-2 is grounded to shortstop. Good play there from Bertram. As Patrick stays put at second, 1 out.
You saw it there. It looked almost effortless. And yet, when the arm's coming forward, moving at very high speed, fastball comes in there close to 95 miles an hour. That's the most velocity we've seen today from the big right-hander.
Harajuli will now face Alex Sayer, who walks back in the third. 1 out. Patrick still on second here. Gets stopped there by the catcher Buckley. That one almost got away. Top 5, working with 1 out, runner on second. Michigan leads 18-2. They have been on fire offensively in this interconference matchup between Michigan and Wright State. This is only a 1-game series, as that pitch is going to be fouled down the first base line. Sayer hitting .341 on the year. The best Raider hitter average-wise. 7 home runs to his name as well.
And the best Raider hitter in the eyes of the scouts, despite Greenwell's superior OPS this year.
Next pitch, the 1-1, is going to be fouled out of the ballpark. That one right into the parking lot. That almost hit somebody.
Hanging out, trying to watch through the netting over there.
Yep.
Yeah, Sayer, his 2021 season, one of the all-time best in Wright State history. 383, 479 on base, 662 slugging. That's a 1141 OPS. First team All-Horizon League. Got him a spot on the top 200 prospects from D1Baseball.com.
1-2 is outside. Sliding stop there from Buckley. That foul ball pitch a pitch ago came in at 97 miles an hour from Harajuli. How about that?
Yeah, Harajuli has some of those big league tools that Sayer figures to see in the near future.
The 2-2 to Sayer is high. Makes the count full. So Harajuli working out of a bit of a pickle here. Runner on second. 1 out. 3-2 count to Alex Sayer, who hits .341 on the year. Michigan leads 18-2, though. Here comes the full count. That one is low for a ball. That one got away from Buckley. Runner Patrick at second thought about advancing, scampers back to his base. So now runners on first and second with 1 out.
Yeah, no sweat yet for Harajuli. Hasn't let a run cross the plate. And I think he's got some superior stuff to what Wright State has seen probably since the beginning of the year. They did start off with a tough opening stretch. 3 games against Georgia State and then 2 against Oklahoma State. But it has been a while feasting on the Horizon League pitching in recent weeks.
Wright State sitting at 23-21 overall. Like you said, some good experience early in the year against some tougher opponents. As Jay Lucart steps in. First pitch in for a strike, second pitch is low for a ball. So count is 1-1 with 1 out, runners on first and second. Lucart hitting .297 on the year with 9 home runs. Shortstop Bertram playing a little closer to second, holding Patrick, the runner, on. Here comes the 1-1. That's inside. Makes the count 2-1. Harajuli calls time, wants a different ball. And he will get that ball.
Just as long as recently mentioned that Oklahoma State series. If you think this one's bad, the Raiders dropped one 26-3.
Wow.
Back on February 27th. That was only the first game of a doubleheader. They also suffered a 7-6 loss in extra innings that nightcap. So it was a rough start to the year, but they've...
That next pitch is belted down the third baseline foul.
Yeah, they've fleshed out some of their goals here late in the season.
Yeah, for a team that's down 18-2, I mean, they're 23-21, so I don't know if we're seeing the authentic Wright State here. Obviously, like you said, playing the Horizon League, I believe they've locked up home field advantage. Is that correct?
Yep, in the Horizon League tournament.
So with this game, that has no implications on that whatsoever. As that pitch gets away from Buckley, both runners advance. So runners now on second and third. Lukehart now working with a full count. There's still 1 out in the inning. So Wright State with some potential to score in 2 straight innings. They scored back in the 4th. They scored 1 run. We're here in the 5th. Harajuli, the pitcher from Michigan.
Yeah, a little Horizon League oddity is that, well, they haven't secured the #1 seed. Not all the Horizon League schools have the facilities to host the week-long tournament.
Interesting.
Which is why Wright State will be hosting once again.
3-2 is belted at the shortstop Bertram. Nice play by him. Gets the runner Lukehart out at first. Bertram flashing the leather here in the top of the 5th. It's 2 good plays from him. Run does score, though. I'm sure Michigan would rather... Michigan will trade outs for runs all day. They are up 18-3 now.
Yeah, and that one was smoked off the bat, 102 miles an hour. That was a tough hop, too. Caught him a little bit in between. Bertram backed up the right amount, didn't get too far back and let it get away from him. Backhanded it and fired over in time.
As Garrick Anglin steps in for the Raiders, sliding stop there from Buckley. 1-0 is the count. Curious to see how many and which Michigan pitchers we'll see after Harajuli. I know Jalen Jones is a promising freshman. Still waiting eagerly in the dugout. Harajuli deals. Nice pitch there for him. Swing and a miss from Anglin. Count is even at 1-1.
Yeah, Jalen Jones, another one. Angelo Smith, a couple of lefties in the bullpen. Beyond Jacob Denner, coming out of the pen this year. They haven't found a reliable second option, lefty arm. Obviously, we've seen some Logan Wood. But yeah, if those guys can get on, maybe in some more high-pressure situations, switch up the arm look for Michigan late in the game, Big Ten tournament, that could be a huge benefit.
The 1-2 is swung on and missed. So Harajuli, a little bit of a fist bump and gets out of that inning, surrendering 1 run. 18-3 now. Michigan leads as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
Sun is on its way down here at Ray Fisher Stadium and finally peeking out from behind the clouds. Had been overcast earlier in the game, but you can see it out beyond the right field fence right now, casting a couple shadows here as we near 7:45 Eastern Time in Ann Arbor. Wright State sending out a new pitcher. That's going to be Bradley Debout, the junior lefty, number 4. Bradley Debout, the Michigan native, from Woodhaven in Wayne County, not too far from where we're playing right now. Sure, he has family in attendance for this midweek matchup between the Wright State Raiders and the Michigan Wolverines. Debout, also a stellar academic performer, all-academic Horizon League honor roll in 2021. Hasn't pitched since April 19th against Dayton. Gave up a run in 2/3. Pitched against Xavier. Xavier and Dayton, a couple teams that Michigan knows all too well from some midweek matchups. Obviously, very short drive down to Cincinnati, and their crosstown rival, the Dayton Flyers, out of the Atlantic 10, who have presented some problems for the Wolverines this season, as well as these Raiders. Debout settles in. Pitching to Joey Velasquez. and nearly hits him with a running fastball inside. Velasquez escapes with his fingers intact, but just barely.
Thank you once again to Coley for filling in during my bathroom break. Velasquez looks like first pitch was a ball. Second pitch he takes for a strike.
It's no problem, Owen. Someone's got to stock the refreshments,
Yep,
too.
that's right.
All this talking about Michigan baseball
Keep that
even makes us
fresh.
thirsty.
Yep, that's right. Third pitch, is inside for a ball. Velasquez now looking at a 2-1 count. The new pitcher is Bradley Debout.
One of the only hitters who hasn't got in on the action today, Velasquez, 0 for 3, although he does have an RBI and a run.
Velasquez looking to cement himself in this Michigan order during the latter part of the season. Velasquez obviously on the football team, took part in the spring game and the spring practices, so missed a good portion of the season, but he's worked his way into the lineup. Credit to him. Takes that one high, makes the count full. Joey Velasquez giving a lot to Michigan athletics. A couple successful programs, obviously, with Michigan baseball making a College World Series appearance not too long ago, a couple of years. And Michigan winning the Big Ten this year. This one's grounded to second base. Reamer, easy play for him. Velasquez hustling, but he won't get there. 1 out for Debout. Riley Bertram, who's been hot today. He's homered and doubled in 3 at-bats, hitting .271 on the year. He'll step in with 1 out. We're here bottom 5 at Ray Fisher Stadium in Ann Arbor. Michigan destroying Wright State so far, up 18-3. Michigan's been on fire offensively. Bertram first pitch swings and miss. Bertram fell to his knees on that one. 0-1.
Bertram's put a couple good swings on the baseball today. Obviously his first inning sky-high home run, but then also his gapper, driving home 2 more in the third.
Bertram responsible for 2 of 13 Michigan hits today. Overall, Michigan is hitting 13 of 27. That's .481. The 0-2 is low for a ball. 1-2. Debout, the pitcher for Wright State, looking to put together one of the better defensive innings for the Raiders here today. He retired Velasquez to start the inning. Now has Bertram at a 1-2 count. Working from the stretch is Debout, and here comes the 1-2. That one is high, makes it 2-2. So Bertram working the count here. The seasoned senior has appeared in every game for Michigan this year. He is hitting .263, not including this game.
Up to .271 with his double and home run,
That's
and the
right.
slugging percentage is thanking him even more.
.271 now after the 2-hit game here. Took that last pitch low for a ball. Count is full now for Riley Bertram. Here it comes. That one is fouled off. Bertram got a good piece of that. Clearly wasn't this pitch, though. Continues to work the count.
Yeah, excellent fight in him. You saw that curveball working from out in the left-handed batter's box, coming back in for that corner. And Bertram was not fooled. He recognized the pitch, sat back on it, took a hack at it, and just enough to stay alive.
Bertram fighting here. 3-2 count. Debout from the stretch. Here it comes. That one is called. Strike 3, and Bertram knew it, too. He started pacing back to the dugout before the home plate umpire made the call, and he's disappointed with himself. A good at-bat, though. Obviously not the best ending. Bakich giving Bertram credit for a great at-bat, and Bertram knew he messed up, and Bakich recognized him for that. Debout, good start here for the Raiders here in the 5th. As Jordan Rogers steps in. First pitch is swung on and missed. Rogers, 3 plate appearances tonight. He's walked twice.
Another great pitch from Debout there. I loved how he set up Bertram in that last at-bat with that excellent curve, almost pinching the outside corner, coming back in with a fastball inner third. 2 completely different looks, and Bertram was not ready to pull the trigger.
The 0-1 is low, makes it 1-1 for Jordan Rogers. Hitting 177 on the year with 1 home run to his name. Is the junior from Chicago. Debout working nicely here from the stretch. The 1-1 is fouled back. Moves the count to 2-1. With 2 outs here, bottom 5, Michigan was on fire with 18 runs through 3 innings. Didn't score in the 4th. Haven't scored here in the 5th. And Jordan Rogers is now facing a 1-2 count with 2 outs. So Michigan has definitely come back to earth in these last couple of innings. Here's the 1-2. That one is swung on and missed. So Michigan scoreless in the 4th and the 5th. Wright State going to need to have much more offense to catch up, though. Michigan still holding very, very strong with that 18-3 lead as we head to the 6th. Here on WCBN Sports, I'm Owen Klein with Coley Hoving. And Michigan's been excellent offensively, and that's something that you want to see if you're a Wolverine fan heading into the later stages of the year, heading to College Park, heading to Maryland, 2 of the better teams in the Big Ten. And again, we talked about finding your reserves, and Jake Marty had an RBI double.
Yeah, Marty, a guy they want to see get going. Obviously, Dylan Stanton has sort of settled into an everyday role in the past month or so.
Yes.
But first base had been a real question mark for the Michigan Wolverines. Trying out a lot of different guys there. Marty getting the start today. And he responded with a big hit with a nice at-bat and a walk. He's got 2 runs now today.
Marty with 2 runs. New pitcher for Michigan. Looks like we got number 19, Logan Wood, who we've seen recently. Wood is a sophomore lefty. Michigan continues to cycle through their rotation, as Wood will pitch here to start the 6th. For Michigan, same defense as the previous 3 innings, with Buckley replacing Obertop at the catching spot in the 3rd. It's going to be Marty at first, Rogers at second, Bertram at short, Frye at third, Tito Flores in left field, Stewart in center, and Joey Velasquez in right for the Wolverines to start the 6th inning against Wright State. For the Raiders, it's going to be Zane Harris, followed by number 19. It's going to be Drew Baker, who has now checked in for the Raiders. He'll bat second this inning. He replaces catcher Sammy Sass, so Baker will take over behind the plate for the Raiders. Then following Baker is Reamer, Justin Reamer, the second baseman. So 5, 6, and 7 due up. And we'll start with Zane Harris. He is 0 for 2 today, as Logan Wood takes over on the bump for the Wolverines, sporting a 14.18 ERA. The lefty, nice pitch there to start the at-bat to Harris, 0-1.
Absolutely. It's 76 miles an hour. You could tell Harris was not geared to sit all the way back on that off-speed pitch, and it dropped right into the zone.
A lot of movement for Wood. Here comes the second pitch. That one's outside. Evens the count at 1-1 for Harris. Harris at 253 on the year. He's 0 for 2 today, though. Here comes the 1-1. That one almost hit Harris. Not enough curve on that ball for Logan Wood as the count moves to 2-1.
A little bit of a different look from Harajuli last inning with the high heat. A big guy, a lot of tools. Big difference between his fastball, curve, and change. Now you got a guy like Logan Wood, who's 6'2", but just 180. out of McComb. And even when he's overthrowing that fastball, it's only topping out around 86, 87.
Fourth pitch dropped in for a strike to make it 2-2. Here's the fifth pitch. That one's going to be a ground ball dribbler. Diving play by Rogers. He got there, but there's no one covering first. Rogers dropped it anyway. So good effort there by Jake Rogers.
Not a bad pitch. Not bad defense. Just perfectly placed for the big man. That's about as soft as he's going to hit a single all year.
So Harris reaches on what will be scored as an infield single. Good attempt there from the second baseman, Jordan Rogers, to dive for it. Harris beat it out anyways, though. As Drew Baker, the freshman catcher, steps to the plate with Harris on first, Wood deals to him. First pitch is in there for a strike. Jacob Bodick calling balls and strikes behind the plate tonight. The 0-1 to Baker. That one swung on and fouled back towards the parking lot right side. Makes the count 0-2 as we seem to have a dog in the parking lot, unless that was over the loudspeakers. It's a loud bark if it was a dog. I'm now starting to think that was over the loudspeakers, though. The
Bark
0-2.
in the park.
Sorry, the 0-2 to Baker. That one swung on and missed. Strike 3. What were you saying?
It's bark in the park.
Bark in the park. There you go.
They're laughing at Baker.
Yep. Baker down on 3 pitches as Wood gets his first out of the inning. Stepping up for the Raiders, Justin Reamer. 1 for 2 today. Excuse me, it's not going to be Reamer. A little substitution action for the Raiders. It's going to be number 42, Drew Fleming, the sophomore infielder.
Couple of Drews coming in late here. One's going to be behind the plate. One is going to go in at second base, presumably. Light hitting, both of them. Baker's been the better, but he's just played 18 games with 6 starts.
First pitch to Fleming is way inside, gets away from the catcher Buckley. Harris will advance to second on the pass ball. Fleming on the year hitting .062, so Wright State looking to get some guys going of their own. He is a big human being, though. He towers above catcher Chase Buckley.
Fleming at 6'6", 240. The only guy capable of matching Harris in his weight class, I think.
Yep.
We're seeing a couple of Wright State's big athletes right now. Fleming just a redshirt sophomore, transfer from Indiana.
Fleming rocking the iconic 42. Perhaps the most respected number in this sport as he takes the third pitch in for a ball. Excuse me, that was pitch number 2. Count is now at 2-0. Harris at second. Scoring opportunity here for Wright State. They're down 18-3, though, so they're going to need a lot more than some singles. His third pitch is taken for a ball, 3-0 to Drew Fleming. Couple of Drews with the last 2 hitters for the Raiders. Fleming still's got the Indiana uniform on in his profile picture. Got to update that.
I believe that might have been a mistake, actually.
As
Checking
ball
out on
4
it.
gets away from the catcher. Buckley looking for it. It went right behind him. He was circling in the same spot for a couple of seconds. Didn't realize it went way to the backstop. As Harris advanced 1 base, could have advanced 2.
Yeah, that ball got away from him in more ways than one. He couldn't find it even with a map there. Manager, pitcher, yelling the directions. Of course, his left was there right. So
That's right.
That's why he got confused. That's what we'll chalk it up to.
That one got towards the backstop. A little mound meeting here between Logan Wood and Casey Buckley, the catcher. Working with runners on the corners. We have Fleming at first and Harris at third. Fleming reached on a walk, and Harris reached on an infield single.
Between those two mountains of men on base.
Yes.
Wright State's got about 600 pounds running around the base paths right now.
Feel bad for those base paths. Justin McConnell steps in for the Raiders now. He's 0-2 today. First pitch is swung on and missed. Good pitch there from Wood. Had a lot of movement. We're working with one out here in the top of the sixth. Michigan was outstanding offensively to start this game. They're up 18-3 right now. Runners in the corners for Wright State, though. McConnell at the plate. Second pitch is swung on and missed. That looked identical to the first pitch.
Two nasty off-speed pitches coming in from Logan Wood. Starting on the inner third and just dipping, mostly vertical, but enough horizontal to get it off the inside part of the plate.
The 0-2 is swung on and hit towards left field. That's a high fly ball. That one's going to be caught by the left fielder, Flores. Runner will tag, though, as Harris scores for the Raiders. And McConnell has a sacrifice fly as the Raiders pull within 14. They now have 4 runs. 18-4, Michigan leads. Fleming remains at first.
Wood tried to go back to the well there, trying to drop another one.
Yep.
Another curveball on the inner side third of the plate. That one just hung up a little too much and didn't get that same vertical action. However, still not the strongest of contact from Drew Fleming there.
Pinch hitter for the Raiders is going to be Luke Arnold, number 16, the freshman. First pitch to him is in for a strike. Another ball with some great movement outside to in.
Yeah, he's got kind of 2 looks out of that. When he throws it outside to that right-handed batter, it's a little loopy. Lots of horizontal movement back to the outside corner. When he throws it inner third, you see a little more vertical.
That second pitch is laced down the left field line. It's going to be fair. So extra bases here for Arnold as the runner from first, Fleming, goes all the way to third. And Arnold, in what was his first plate appearance of the year, has a 2-out double for the Raiders. He will quickly be relieved. But no, excuse me, that was just the first base coach going to get his gear. Going to keep him on the base paths. It'll be Avery Fisher. Yep.
Back to Avery Fisher
Top
here.
of the order. Fisher relieved starter Julian Greenwell earlier in the game. Runners on second and third for the Raiders. 2 outs here for Logan Wood as Avery Fisher stands in, takes the first pitch for a strike.
Grounded out his first time up to Riley Bertram. Was a great play, though.
Yeah, he's been a wizard, huh? Out
Yeah.
there at shortstop today. Wood working from a stretch. Here's the 0-1 to Fisher. That one's inside, almost caught him. Count evens up at 1-1.
You gotta love what you're seeing from Logan Wood if you're the Michigan pitching staff and the coaches sitting in the dugout watching him perform. He is getting some extra movement on his pitches today.
Yes, he is. We have a great view from up here as well. Those off-speeders look nasty. Another one there. Called for a ball, though, 1-2. That one came in at 77. 18-4, Michigan leads it. We're here at the top of the 6th inning at Ray Fisher Stadium in Ann Arbor. And between this single-game series, next pitch by Fisher is popped up towards center. Stewart under it. He'll make the play to end the inning. So Michigan gives up a run. That's their third straight inning, giving up 1 run. Lead remains comfortably at 18-4, though, for the Wolverines as we head to the bottom of the 6th. The due-up for Michigan is Marty, the 9-hitter, then back to the top of the order with Elliott and Stewart. There could be some substitutions made, though, before then. So we'll keep you guys updated with that.
Would not be surprised.
Looks like something's being thrown to the fans here. Not a T-shirt. I don't know what it is. Oh, it looks like it's some
Squishy baseballs.
Squishy baseballs of sorts.
Maybe Brandon with the Michigan M.
See, it would seemed like a good thing to give out.
Fans clamoring for ball girls to send them their way. Someone snags the drawstring bag that they were being carried in, so they're going home with a souvenir.
Well, that's probably the best prize of them all, no?
Yeah, it's probably Michigan branded, probably pretty well made. As Pharrell's Happy Blast through the loudspeakers, I'm sure the Wolverine fans couldn't be happier. Hot spring near summer day, and home team is putting on an offensive clinic.
Michigan with 18 runs here, and you said it, Coley. This has been a clinic offensively for Michigan.
Bradley Debout back on the mound. I think we had a little pronunciation confusion earlier, and I'm really, really disappointed that his name is not Debout, because I would love it if the Wolverines gave him Debout right now.
Go. Good call there.
I'm holding on to that one for an inning now.
It is, in fact, Bradley Debout on the mound, and he'll remain on the mound for the Raiders. As we enter the 6th inning, it'll be Jake Marty to the plate. First pitch swinging, and he missed. 0-1 to Marty. Marty had a double in his last at-bat back in the 3rd.
And boy, did he need it.
Yeah, he needed it.
When you're raising your average to 111, you are in a slump in a bad way.
Yep. The 0-1 to Marty is high and away, evens the count at 1-1. Marty grounded out in the 1st, walked in the 3rd, and hit that RBI double, also back in the 3rd. That was an inning in which Michigan scored 10 runs. They are currently up 18-4. Here's the 1-1, swung on, ground ball, third base. Arnold, couple steps, and he will make the play at first. Nice play by him, as Marty is retired on 3 pitches. Clark Elliott remains in the ballgame for Michigan. And from an entertainment perspective, I'm sure the fans appreciate that decision from Coach Eric Bakich. Elliott putting on a clinic. He's a microcosm of the Michigan offense today. He's 3 for 4. 4 RBIs and 2 runs scored. Had 2 hits back in the 3rd inning. 4 RBIs in the 3rd inning. That's 4 RBIs in 1 inning.
Yeah, I think he knocked in Rogers and Marty both times.
First pitch swinging, high fly ball left side. Is it going to get out? It is going to hit the Michigan bullpen.
And you talk about the RBIs. I don't believe we've discussed them already this game. But for those of you who don't know, Clark Elliott leads the team with 49 RBIs coming out of the leadoff spot. Yeah. Now, Stewart gets the bat behind him. He's got 39.
Yeah.
Frye, I don't know where he stands right now, but he's probably in the low 40s after his output today. It is rare for a leadoff hitter to lead his team in RBIs because the guys coming up in front of him are not getting on base very often. That speaks to the kind of player Elliott has been all season.
Certainly impressive. As Clark Elliott is lauded as one of the premier prospects, not only in the Big Ten, but in all of college baseball. And this game is just another example of why. He's 3 for 4 today, as he works with the 1-1 count from Debout. And here comes the 1-1. That one is in for a strike, caught the outside corner. So Elliott now faces the 1-2 count.
Yeah, scouts love Elliott's approach. Line drives to all fields. He's working on his pitch recognition. That's something that scouts said he needed to work on. And he's certainly improved over the course of this season.
Struck out there. He swung at a high one. As Clark Elliott is retired. Good out there for Debout, who's looked good for the Raiders.
Yeah, Debout has come in and given them some quality outs, although it appears that manager Alex Sogard will be taking the ball right now, sending Debout back to the dugout.
So Debout goes 1 2/3 innings, gives up no hits, no runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. So as good as you can get if you're a pitcher through that short time interval. So pitching change will be made here as Joe Stewart is due up for the Wolverines. Stewart 2 for 3 today.
Alex Sogard heading back to the dugout. The manager, we haven't spoken much about him. He's the 7th youngest head man in college baseball. He's already got a little bit of a reputation around the country, being named an assistant coach on Team USA under 19 this past year.
How about that? Some good experience for the Raider manager. He's got a good team, too, sitting at 23-21. You know, in baseball, anything can happen. It's just one of those games. You can't have one game represent an entire season, especially given the fact that the Raiders have already locked up that home field advantage out in the Horizon League.
Yeah, and certainly will be the favorite to represent the Horizon League in the College World Series based on what they've done in recent history. They've got 8 appearances, including regional final runs in 15 and 16. However, they did lose 4 of 5 to Oakland, who we saw earlier this year. And Oakland looks like a dangerous team as well.
Quality baseball coming out of the state of Michigan with Oakland and the University of Michigan. Wright State coming out of Dayton, Ohio. New pitcher for the Raiders is going to be Brock Nartker, sporting a 7.71 ERA in 11 2/3 inning pitched this year. He's given up 18 hits, 10 runs, 6 walks, and 13 strikeouts. That strikeout to walk ratio is a good sign. As Joe Stewart steps in with 2 outs for the Wolverines, we're here at Ray Fisher Stadium in Ann Arbor. 18-4 is our score. With 2 outs, first pitch to Stewart is high, 1-0.
Never quite got a grip on that pitch as he tried to yank it down. But he's got some time to settle in here. No one on the base pass for once.
1-0 to Stewart is a laser right back up the middle. That one was smoked right by Brock Nartker, the pitcher. Stewart, and gets a 2-out single. It's his 3rd hit of the game. And his 3rd single of the game at that. As Matt Frye, also 2 for 3 coming into his at-bat, will step in. He's also got 1 RBI in 3 runs to his name today.
Wow, I'm still reeling from that smack up the middle by Stewart. 113 miles an hour off the bat. 2nd hardest hit ball of the day after one that was crushed by this guy, Matt Frye.
First pitch to Frye is inside, almost hit him. It did hit him. So Frye takes first. 2 on for Michigan now with 2 outs. As the catcher, Casey Buckley will step in, repping the Migos for his walk-up song.
Yeah, some interesting choices. Obviously, Tito likes his salsa.
Yep.
Buckley with the Migos.
You know, let's talk about the offensive onslaught, but don't you discredit the musical diversity that this team has in terms of taste. First pitch is swung on and missed.
We were talking about the Luke Combs earlier in the game.
Yep. And obviously every player has their own walk-up song. And for a lot of the starters, we've become quite accustomed. But it's interesting for some of the bench guys to see their taste when they come up. Obviously, you mentioned Tito with the salsa.
I am missing Dylan Stanton, who usually cues up some classic R&B.
That's right. That's right. Next pitch gets away. Stewart takes 3rd with his speed. Frye remains at first. Stewart smoked a single back up the middle with 2 outs to kind of start this little run. Frye got hit by the pitch. So now we're sitting at runners in the corners with Casey Buckley stepping in. 1-1 count to him. Buckley had a grand slam back in the 3rd. Part of a 18-run night for Michigan so far. Struck out in his next at-bat. Buckley just got hit as well. So Casey Buckley will take first. Base is now juiced for Tito Flores.
Nartker has shown a very obvious lack of command in these early pitches. Obviously, 2-hit batsman, and that one wasn't even close. His first pitch of the outing went over his own catcher's head. And the only pitch that touched the zone, Joe Stewart immediately laced it back up the middle.
So Nartker struggling to start. Michigan leads at 18-4 with the potential for more here in the bottom of the sixth. Tito Flores working with the bases loaded. Here comes the first pitch, and that one is outside for a ball, so Nartker continues to struggle with command.
Nartker is a smaller guy at just 5'9", 155. The fact that he can put 93 miles an hour on the scoreboard tells you that, his mechanics are sound, but also that he's accustomed to contorting his body to get that kind of velocity.
The 1-0 is also outside. That one gets away from the catcher. Everyone will hold where they are, though. Stewart thought about it. Not going to risk it, being up 14. Behind the plate is Drew Baker, who subbed in for the starter Sammy Sass. We're going to miss saying that name. Flores working with the 2-0 count. Tito climbed over the 300 mark in his average today. He's 2 for 3. He's now at 301. Let's see if he can hold on to that. Here's the 2-0. That one's also outside. So 3-0. Nartker is one ball away from walking in a run.
Before he does that, just want to remark on how wonderfully unique Tito Flores' stance is. He really leans back, gets all the way on his back leg, hands high, bat without any of the characteristic wiggle that you see with a lot of other guys. Big leg kick, and he takes ball 4 there.
So Stewart scores on the walk. Nartker had it going earlier in this inning, retired the first 2 batters, Marty and the excellent Clark Elliott, then gave up a single to Stewart, then hit Frye, then hit Buckley, and now walked Flores.
And on 4 pitches, too. Yep. I believe that Debout actually started the inning and grabbed those first 2 outs. So Nartker has yet to record an out here in the 6th.
So Nartker struggling. Velasquez is a guy that could get going today. Normally a very rock-solid hitter, but has not been like the rest of this Michigan lineup. He's 0 for 4 today. Did have a fielder's choice RBI back in the first. But an excellent opportunity here for Joey Velasquez to get back on track with the bases juiced. First pitch bounces in. So Nartker continues to struggle with that command. One out of Velasquez. Flores on first, Buckley on second, and Frye on third. The 1-0 to Velasquez is swung on and missed. Evens the count at 1-1 for the junior right fielder.
A little bit out in front of that one, even on the fastball, touching 91 miles an hour. You could tell he was sitting on it. He was raring to go. He wants to get in on some of the action that the rest of the Wolverines offense has been carrying.
The 1-1 is high and away. Makes the count 2-1. 14 hits for Michigan tonight on 32 at-bats. They're 11 of 17 with runners on and 9 of 13 with runners in scoring position. En route to a 19-4 lead here in the bottom of the 6th. The 2-1 to Joey Velasquez is swung on and missed. Evens the count at 2-2.
It's the first time that Nartker has been able to make the Michigan hitters look a little bit uncomfortable this at bat. Velasquez looking a little off kilter with both of his swings, just not used to the speed that Nartker's throwing.
2-2 is fouled down the first baseline, So Velasquez stays alive here. 2-2 count to him. Michigan leads 19-4 here in the bottom of the 6th. Bases loaded for Joey Velasquez with 2 outs. The 2-2 is swung on again, chopped down the first base line. So Velasquez staying alive here. Good to see him staying with it, even after an off night for him.
Seeing 2 straight off-speed pitches on the inside corner. Good that he's able to foul him away. But if you're Nartker, you're thinking maybe he's vulnerable if I try to speed him up. Maybe if I try to go outside or elevate a little bit. So he's got some options here in his arsenal.
The 2-2 to Velasquez. Here it comes. That one is swung on and fouled back. Barely got a piece of that to stay alive as Joey Velasquez continues to fight. Velasquez, with runners in scoring position this season, is hitting .462. So evidence of his dominance with runners at second or third. Working here with a 2-2 count. Pitcher Nartker working from the stretch. Here it comes. And that one is low. Good discipline there by Joey to take that one. Makes the count full.
Yeah, his first fastball he'd seen in a few pitches. But Nartker took a little of the decision-making out of the equation by burying that one in the dirt. But when you got to protect with 2 strikes, it's always good to lay off one of those ugly pitches.
The 3-2. That one swung on and missed. So after a long at-bat, Velasquez is retired on strikes. As we move to the top of the 7th, Michigan extends their lead by 1. They're now up 19-4 over the Wright State Raiders. Logan Wood has been on the mound for Michigan. We'll see if he stays out there. For the Raiders, pending any substitutions, Alex Sayer, Callahan, not Chris Callahan, excuse me. It's going to be Ryan Callahan batting second for Wright State in this one, along with Garrig Anglin. So the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Raiders coming up. And new pitcher for Michigan, it looks like it's going to be Keaton Caratini, number 28 for Michigan.
I haven't seen a whole lot of him this year. After not seeing a whole lot of him last year,
Yeah.
is a senior, but had a devastating arm injury. Limited him to just 3 innings in 2021 and 0 so far this year out of Encinitas, California.
So Caratini making his season debut. Good to see him out here for the Wolverines. He's got a lot of cushion to work with, but still something to prove for the senior. Michigan defense remains the same. Buckley checked in for Obertop in the 3rd inning. Other than that, the rest of the defense is all starters. Marty at first, Rogers at second, Bertram at short, Frye at third, Flores at left, Stewart in center, and Velasquez in right.
It's good to see Jimmy's legs getting a little rest. It's been a long stretch of games for the Wolverines.
Yes, it has. Obertop is a staple of that Michigan lineup. And we know what catching does to those knees. Good managing there by Bakic to give him a rest. And a needed one at that. Stepping in for the Raiders is Alex Sayer. He is 0 for 1. Had 2 walks in his previous 2 at-bats. Flew out in the 1st. Walked in the 3rd and in the 5th, respectively. Stepping in here, hitting .341 on the year with 7 homers. So Sayer is no joke. As Caratini looks to make his first pitch since 2021. And that one is just outside. No, they're going to call it a strike, actually. So umpire gives Caratini the benefit of the doubt for strike 1. Here comes the 0-1. That one also in for a strike. So Caratini, good start. 0-2 to Alec Sayer, the right fielder.
Quickly up on the 2-hitter for the Raiders.
Next pitch is just outside. Like you say, Coley, 2-hitter for the Raiders hitting .341. Good start for Caratini against, a bat as scary as Sayers. Count is now at 1-2. Here it comes. One is just outside again. So Caratini focusing on that outside edge. Sayer not biting on the previous two. Count is even at 2-2.
I want to say that all four of those pitches were in the same spot.
Yep, very close to one another. Next pitch is swung on and skied up in the infield. Looks like Marty is under it, and he will make the grab. So excellent pitching by Caratini to start this inning, as he retires a .340 hitter in Alex Sayer. Stepping up for the Raiders now is number 8, Ryan Callahan, the freshman outfielder.
Obviously, we've seen Wright State put a run on the board in each of the last 3 innings, so don't want to hype up Caratini too much. But that's a quality hitter that he just got out, and he made him look a little silly.
Callahan takes the first pitch outside for a ball.
Caratini's control of that pitch. You know, he's not throwing it very hard, but it's very consistent right on that corner. You can see that his presence has been missed in this staff.
Next pitch is in for a strike, and as you said, Coley, that command seems to be at a very high level right now. Coach Eric Bakic and his staff certainly liking what they see. The 1-1 is fouled back. Count moves to 2-1 with 1 out. Keaton Caratini has checked in for Michigan as the pitcher. Retired the first batter, now has the second batter, Ryan Callahan, down 1-2. Caratini working from the stretch despite no runners on. Seems to work pretty well for him. Here comes the 1-2. That one swung on and missed. So Keaton Caratini, excellent start to his season debut. 2 are quickly down here in the 7th. Michigan leads 19-4. Scored 18 runs through 3 innings, then added another one on last inning in the bottom of the 6th. We're here at the top of the 7th with 2 outs as Keaton Caratini has been dealing this inning. First pitch, oh my goodness, is popped up. I thought that might have been gone. Is going to end up getting foul. Lands in the Michigan bullpen. That one was high and came off the bat at 90 miles an hour from Gary Anglin.
It looks worse when it's angling. He's got that athletic stance, a little bit of a crouch. Love that he's rocking the stirrups. Makes everyone's calves look bigger. A little calf enhancer for the first baseman there.
The 0-1 is outside 1-1. I believe all of the Raiders are rocking the stirrups today. Seems to be part of their uniform. Michigan rocking the pinstripes. So a little old-fashioned look here between the Raiders and the Wolverines. And I'm here for it, to be honest. Here comes the 1-1. Caratini, that one is belted to left field. That one looks like it's going to get out, and it does. That one is above the brick wall. So Gary Anglin takes Caratini deep.
There again, we see that vicious swing, the one that made both of us recoil when he popped that up.
I didn't even say, I know that one out. I knew that was out. I mean, that was
one was blasted.
Oh.
Just to the right from our perspective behind home plate of that high wall in dead left. But I believe it would have cleared that even. It had altitude and a ton of exit velocity.
Zane Harris stepping to the plate for the Raiders. He is 1 for 3 today. Caratini looked good through 2 batters to start the 7th. Just gave up the home run to Garrick Anglin. Here is the 1-0 to Zane Harris. That's in for a strike. Evens the count at 1-1. Harris 1 for 3 tonight. Singled back in the 6th. Here comes the 1-1. That one is inside. Went off the glove of the catcher, Buckley, for the Wolverines. Harris sitting at 258 on the year, 6 home runs. Michigan leads 19-4 here in the top of the 7th. Keaton Caratini on the mound for the Wolverines. The 2-1 to Harris. That one swung on and belted in the left center gap. Possible extra bases for Harris, and he will take second standing up. So a 2-out double for the Raiders after the home run. Some more life for them.
Harris is the guy that Wright State wants to see get going. Obviously, he's having a quality season by any measure. 6 home runs, 9 doubles, 438 slugging. But for a guy with his size and his bat-to-ball skills, you expect him to be a little higher up. Just 27 strikeouts in 43 starts. That's not something we usually see with guys of his stature. They usually have a problem with an uppercut swing, lots of swings and misses. But he can get the barrel to the ball. He just needs to do it a little more often.
Stepping in for the Raiders is Drew Baker. The catcher is 0 for 1 today with a strikeout back in the 6th. So Zane Harris at second after the 2-run double. That followed the Garrick Anglin solo shot to put the Wright State Raiders at 5 runs as Buckley will pay Caratini a visit at the mound.
Yeah, after the phenomenal start, it's tough to see 2 balls absolutely sized up and sent their respective ways toward left center. Casey doing what he can to give a little confidence boost. Caratini, hopefully he can finish out the inning right here.
Baker at bat for the Raiders. 2-0 count to him. Caratini working from the stretch with Zane Harris at second. That one gets away from the catcher Buckley as Harris easily takes third. So a pass ball for Keaton Caratini. Harris takes third. Drew Baker facing a 3-0 count. Infield playing Baker straight up. Michigan still up 19-5, so a lot of cushion there. Caratini, as you said, Coley, had an excellent start to this inning. Kind of fell off, though, as he walks Drew Baker on 4 pitches. Caratini, though, still has an opportunity to get out of this one, only surrendering 1 run. As Michigan's pitching coach will pay Caratini a visit, along with the shortstop Bertram and the catcher Buckley.
Obviously, when you've got a guy on the mound who, hasn't pitched all year, hasn't pitched since early last season due to his arm troubles, you want to see him finish this inning off, right? Hold his head high and do the job that he needs to do. And I think they'll give him every opportunity to do that. But they just got to nail down the command, the mechanics that he had going early in this inning.
Caratini will remain on the mound after the visit. Stepping in for the Raiders is number 42, Drew Fleming. Walked back in the 6th. Only 1 at-bat here tonight after he subbed in for Justin Reamer. First pitch to Fleming is high for a ball, 1-0. That one looked better, though, than the majority of the pitches we saw against Baker, the last batter.
On any other hitter that was high, I believe that was about belt high for a guy like Drew Fleming.
Fleming fouls the second one down the third baseline. Count is even at 1-1.
Something that we're seeing here is that this Wright State offense that we've heard about, it's not really a fluke. It gets lost in the fact that they're being blown out, but they've racked up 8 hits, 5 runs, threatening again here. Threatening in basically every inning.
Michigan, just those first 3 innings, were on fire, unstoppable offensively. Just pushed them out to this monstrous lead, still sitting at 19-5. Fleming, count at 2-1 for him. Here it comes. That one swung on and fouled down the first base line, a little dribbler. Count is now at 2-2. For number 42, Drew Fleming, the second baseman. Runners in the corners. Drew Baker at first and Zane Harris at third for the Raiders. Here in the top of the 7th, Keaton Caratini on the mound for the Wolverines. The 2-2 to Fleming. Here it comes, swinging and a miss as Keaton Caratini gets out of a pickle, only gave up 1 run. It was the solo shot from Garrick Anglin. As we head to the bottom of the 7th, Michigan leads 19-5 here on a warm day at Ray Fisher Stadium in Ann Arbor. Michigan with 14 hits to Wright State's 8.
Love to see Caratini finish out that at-bat. A really strong pitch to get him. The swing was massive, and if he connected, it would have done some serious damage.
Indeed.
But it dropped off the table for Drew Fleming. And Caratini gets out of that jam, as you said.
7th inning stretch here at the ballpark. I'm going to stand up and get me a quick stretch. I'll still be here, though. Don't worry. A couple fans getting in their stretches.
Boys at BTN Plus
Yes.
are stretching over there, too.
A couple WCBM members in the booth next to us. It's going to be a special shout-out to Zach and Amir on the call. I'm sure they're doing an excellent job for Big Ten Network. It's big time. Mr. Brightside, classic Michigan songs. Coley, did you go to Michigan football games in the fall?
I did.
So I'm sure you're
made
aware
it to
of this
almost
song.
all of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
This obviously took the student section by storm a couple years back. The anthem of Michigan this year seemed to be Pump It Up, as that was raining across campus on fall Saturdays. What a season for those boys. Joey Velasquez now, right fielder for the baseball team, was a big part of that also on the football team.
Yeah, the slightly older, slightly more mature crowd here at the baseball stadium isn't absolutely losing their heads, but maybe, a little nostalgic boost for Velasquez.
Not as many students, and obviously a part of that is, school being over, unless you're taking summer classes.
I do like Mr. Brightside at the 7th inning stretch, because at the football games, you knew when it was going to happen, but you weren't sure exactly when.
Right, exactly.
Now you can, it's regular. A reminder that we're coming into the home stretch of the game. Obviously, today, game is already out of question for the Wright State Raiders, but gets you set for that frenetic finish.
After the 7th inning stretch, we're here at the bottom of the 7th as Riley Bertram steps in for the Wolverines. He had a 3-run shot in the first and an RBI double in the third. First pitch is in for a strike. As Justin Hornschmeyer, hopefully I'm getting that right, is now on the bump for the Raiders. Somehow a ball got onto the field from the Michigan dugout. I hope that wasn't a wild pitch for our bullpen's sake. Nevertheless,
quite the pitch.
Yeah. 0-1 to Bertram. Here it comes. It's outside. Count is even at 1-1. Hornschmeyer rocking a 10.57 ERA for the Raiders. And 7 2/3 inning pitched. That next pitch is low and away for a ball. Count is at 2-1 now to Riley Bertram, the steady senior.
Right-hander works out of the stretch. Big kick. Long
Next pitch
stride.
is chopper to second base. Angling quick play. He makes it. Drew Fleming at first on the receiving end of that ground ball. Retires Bertram. In steps Jordan Rogers looking for his first hit of the day. He's had 2 walks, though. 2 walks in 1 inning in the 3rd inning. That was the 10-run inning for the Wolverines. Michigan up 19-5 here in the bottom of the 7th with 1 out. As the second baseman Rogers steps in, he's from Chicago, Illinois. Hornschmeyer dealing. That first one is low.
Hornschmeyer, another one of these big athletic guys on this Wright State roster. He's 6'5", 225. They could fill out a basketball starting 5 pretty easily with these guys.
Yep. We know Joey Velasquez from Michigan plays football and baseball for this team. Possibly some potential basketball/baseball dual sport athletes here for the Raiders.
It is disappointing we're not going to see Jay Lucart come in from his center field position.
Oh,
He's a
yeah.
dynamic pitcher, sporting the best ERA on the team, under 250, which is relatively unheard of in collegiate baseball.
3-0 to Rogers is a ball inside. So Rogers walks on 4 pitches. That's his 3rd walk of the day. And Jake Marty, I'm not sure this is his walk-up song, is it?
This is new.
Making this
They're gifting us.
Okay, there it is right there. I was about to say. The broadcasting PR team here at the stadium doing him dirty.
About to set him up with some Vanessa Carlton.
Yep. I mean, I love that song. I do.
Who
love that
doesn't?
song.
Jimmy Butler loves that
Jimmy
song.
Butler loves that song, out of all people.
Jimmy Butler's career is basically built on him loving that song.
All right. Butler, obviously, with the Miami Heat right now. They're up 3-2 against the Sixers out in the NBA's Western Conference semifinals. Marty takes the second pitch outside for a ball. 2-0 to him. He got his first hit in a long time today in the form of an RBI double. It's got to feel good if you're Marty climbing over that 100 mark. He's at 105 right now. Third pitch is swung on and a missed. Good swing there by Marty.
And that was a good swing. Took a good rip at it. 2-0. Obviously, you've got a 0 win on a pitch. Say, if that fastball's coming in or third, I'm taking a swing at it. I'm trying to blast it over the fence. Exactly what Marty did. Didn't get the results, but smart approach at the plate.
2-1 is a chopper down the middle. It's going to be picked by the second baseman. That one throw is off, though. Second baseman Anglin making the play there. Good hit by Marty as he beats it out. Another hit for him. Infield single for Jake. Didn't have as much power as his double did, but got the job done. Average moves to 150 on the year.
Yeah, anytime you can hit it right back up the middle proves that you got the bat head out and you really lined it up well.
So Clark Elliott, his day is done for the Wolverines. Brandon Lawrence will sub in for him, taking over the leadoff spot. Lawrence on the year, 2 of 10 at the plate, 5 strikeouts though, 4 walks as well. So takes a lot of pitches. First pitch outside for a ball.
Brandon Lawrence, a guy who temporarily got a look in the infield around that Iowa series, but couldn't stick.
The 1-0 is in there for a strike, 1-1. Pitcher Hornschmeyer walked Rogers, gave up an infield single to Marty. Now he's facing Brandon Lawrence with 1 out. That third pitch is just missed. Moves the count to 2-1.
Lawrence, a switch hitter, always valuable to have coming off the bench, but he hasn't really figured out the hitting aspect for the Wolverines. Just a sophomore, though. He's got time to figure it out. Have high hopes for him in Ann Arbor.
Next pitch is high and away. Moves the count to 3-1. Here it comes with runners on first and second. It is in for a strike. Lawrence motioning to toss the bat towards the dugout. He thought it was a walk. Home plate umpire Jacob Bodek had other plans. Count is now full for Brandon Lawrence. Hornschmeyer working from the stretch. Infield plays Lawrence straight up. Runners at first and second. Here comes the full count. One is fouled back. Rocketed right towards the Michigan dugout.
Couple guys hanging over the side of that protective barrier there that are glad that that was at knee height and not chest height, because chest height for them would have been in between the eyes height.
Indeed. Good to see everyone safe. That protective barrier is doing its job. Next pitch is swung on and fouled. So Lawrence putting up some fight here, and that's what you like to see if you're Coach Eric Bakich. Is Brandon Lawrence is about to receive what I believe will be the 7th pitch of this at bat.
Yeah, if this guy can start working deep counts, He's already got a bit of a power aspect to him. 2 of his 4 career hits are home runs. That would be a vital addition to the lineup.
Lawrence draws a walk. Excellent at-bat for him. He takes ball 4 outside. Bases now juiced for Joe Stewart, the center fielder, hitting .340 on the year with 9 home runs. This will be his 5th at-bat of the day, as Hornschmeyer is getting a visit from the pitching coach, along with his catcher, Drew Baker.
It's definitely a situation you want to talk about. Obviously, with most hitters, you say, okay, the bases are loaded, there's 1 out, we can get out of this with a double play. You're not going to turn 2 on Joe Stewart, is what we've discovered, I think, with his 2 infield singles, regardless of trying to get a force at second. So the infield's got to be smart here. They got to get an out. Obviously, we're past the point of trying to take the run at the plate. But still, if you're Hornschmeyer, you want to approach this carefully because you got no place to put him.
Joe Stewart with the bases loaded. Ball got behind the catcher, luckily hit the backstop and bounced right back to the catcher, Drew Baker. So a little bit of luck for the Raiders as everyone remains put. Lawrence at first, Marty at second, Rogers at third, Stewart at the plate. He's 3 for 4 today. It was 3 singles and a walk. Here's the 1-0. That one's outside. So Hornschmeyer struggling a bit with this command here in the bottom of the 7th.
When you see a guy that wild coming out of that meeting, you wonder what exactly was said. You wonder if maybe A, they took him out of his rhythm, or B, telling him how good Joe Stewart wasn't the best thing.
That one is inside. Looked better than the first 2, though. So 3-0 to Stewart.
I can't imagine that having your pitching coach come out and say, like, wow, this guy, he can seriously hit.
Yeah.
Probably going to score.
Probably not
That's
the case.
not the confidence boost you need.
Yep. The 3-0 is inside for a ball. The second walked-in run for the Raiders here today. As Stewart takes first. Rogers will score. Marty to third. Lawrence to second. As it looks like we have another pitching change. Michigan has hit the 20 mark in this one.
I said that Wright State had to be careful there with Joe Stewart, but they were maybe a little too careful. You got to give him something to hit. Hope for the best, even with a batter as well-rounded as Joe Stewart. Power numbers are there. Average is clearly there. Speed is maybe his best attribute. So didn't want to give up 3 runs, which was definitely a possibility, but still got to make it a competitive at bat. And you're not out of the woods with Matt Frye stepping into the batter's box.
No, you are not, especially with the bases loaded and only 1 out. Frye, 2 for 3 today. Had a single back in the first, a double in the second, and a walk in the third. Also got hit by the pitch. Last at bat in the 6th. Michigan with 15 hits, 20 runs. Hitting above 600 with runners on base. And hitting even better than that at 643 with runners in scoring position are the Wolverines. Matt Frye due up for Michigan. It's been an offensive onslaught, especially in the first 3 innings, in which the Wolverines totaled 18 runs. Yeah, you heard that right, folks. 18 runs. 2 runs since then. Wright State totaling 5 runs of themselves. Their offense really hasn't been that bad. Just Michigan's been hot offensively. There's been some command issues for the Wright State pitching. As the sun starts to set here in Ann Arbor. Lights are on at Ray Fisher Stadium as we resume the action. Matt Frye stepping into the box. The grad transfer from Pitt will look to extend Michigan's lead. They're up 15 right now. Bases loaded for Frye. First pitch is swung on and popped up. Shallow left center. The left fielder, Callahan, coming on, making the play. Marty will tag from third, and he is in safely. So an RBI sac fly for Matt Frye as the lead now sits at 21-5 for the Wolverines. And I know that walk-up song anywhere. That is backup catcher Casey Buckley stepping in. Buckley subbed in for Jimmy Obertop, perhaps the most revered Wolverine on this roster. It hit a grand slam, folks. That's basically the story of how this game has gone offensively for the Wolverines. They're up 21-5 as Buckley steps in with runners on first and second. First pitch is high and away.
I would assume that, you're not forgetting that walk-up song anytime soon.
Oh, no,
I don't
I'm
think
not.
Wright State's bench is either. That's going to be playing in their dreams. Maybe coaching staff takes the whole lineup of walk-up songs, makes it a playlist just for some motivation.
Oh, and Buckley hits a high fly ball. It's going to be caught by the right fielder, though. So,
Put a good swing on that one,
good
though.
swing
again.
on that one. But the good swing coupled with the grand slam, coupled with the walk-up song, really built it up for me there. But Buckley, nevertheless, flies out to Alex Sayer to end the inning as we move to the eighth.
Buckley's quickly turning into the most popular player among WCBN radio broadcasters and probably the greater public.
We are the access to the public. We give them these calls. And Jalen Jones, right on cue. We were talking about him earlier.
Yeah.
He will take the mound for the Wolverines, the lefty out of Georgia, the freshman, number 27, will deal for Michigan.
Talking about getting some innings to young lefties. We did end up seeing Logan Wood. Now we're seeing Jalen Jones. You need that kind of weapon coming out of the pen, ready whenever Jacob Denner isn't good to go. And it's good to see these guys get the opportunity to prove themselves.
Jones will work as the pitcher for the Wolverines. Jones rocking with the hometown music. Young Thug, the Atlanta rapper, blaring over the loudspeakers here at Ray Fisher Stadium as Jones preps for the hold here. Entering the top of the eighth. Defense remains the same. Buckley behind the plate. Marty at first has had a nice day hitting the ball after a tough start to the year. Rogers at second. Bertram at short has been excellent defensively today. Frye at third. Flores in left. Stewart out in center. And Velasquez rounding out the defense in right. Michigan is up 21-5 on 15 hits. We thank you again for tuning into this edition of Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports. I'm Owen Klein, along with Coley Hoving. It's been a pleasure so far, Coley. Let's finish this out strong.
It has been a pleasure, Owen. It has been a great day at the ballpark. Some fans are heading for their cars as this one, the writing is on the wall. But for the most part, maintaining the audience. They just like being here. It's a beautiful day.
A nice May evening here in Ann Arbor. It's been nice weather all week. Jones, first pitch of the day, is in for a strike. Jalen Jones, one of those young guys, like you mentioned, Coley, that Michigan loves to have, and the more they can get them out there, the better, the more experience. It's all going to pay off in the long run for Bakic and this coaching staff. Second pitch is also in for a strike, so Jones working with some pace here.
Yeah, some serious talent. Got some appearances early in the year. Oklahoma, UT Arlington, Florida Atlantic, right around that late February, early March period, but he hasn't pitched since April 12th against Notre Dame.
Hasn't looked like that so far as the third pitch is fouled back right towards us. Condolences to our people over at BTN. Sure that gave him quite the scare. Nevertheless, Jones working with an 0-2. Against Justin McConnell, here it comes. It's just outside. Great pitch there from Jones. Coming in at 93. That's an 18-year-old, folks, throwing 93 miles an hour.
And these first three pitches have all been perfectly placed. Low at the knees, little outside, and then that one just a tad up. His problem has been command. He's walked 5 guys in just 2 innings.
That one also a great pitch, curved inside. Just missed.
Boy.
Jones looking good with his command so far.
That one had a lot of cut action.
Yep. As Jones sits at 2-2 now. Here it comes. That one is just low. So count is full now. McConnell has worked back nicely. McConnell 203 on the year for the Raiders. 2 home runs. He's got 1 RBI here today. In the form of a sac fly, Payoff pitch is high and away for a ball. So McConnell walks, comes back, being down to 0-2.
And that was good at bat by McConnell. After saying the 5 walks in 2 innings, you wonder about Jones and his ability to control the strike zone. But that was more than anything a terrific at bat from McConnell, laying off some very borderline pitches, and frankly knowing the zone a little better than the ump did.
First pitch for Luke Arnold is low for a ball. And to your point, Coley, we've seen a lot of quality at-bats here from both teams. And, one of the more underappreciated parts of baseball is just a solid quality at-bat. I know we had one from a Michigan pinch hitter.
A classic Quab. Quality at-bat.
Quab, yep. What a stat there. As pitching coach coming out to visit Jones on the mound. Luke Arnold is up on Jones 2-0 right now. As McConnell is at first. The meeting is over. Arnold will step back into the box. Arnold is 1 for 1 today with a double back in the 6th. McConnell at first is stolen 7 bases. Sits at a 78% success rate when attempting to steal. Jones prepping for the third pitch of the at-bat. Here it comes. That one swung on and missed. So Jalen Jones trying to build back that excellent start he had against the previous batter, McConnell, where he had him down 0-2. So now he's got Arnold at 2-1.
Arnold had a notion to send that ball about 500 feet to left field. Could not connect.
Next pitch is fouled back. So it's Jones who's worked back in the count now. It's 2-2 to Luke Arnold. Here's the 2-2. That one bounced about 2 feet in front of Luke Arnold, the batter. Skipped in to catcher Casey Buckley for a ball. Count is now full. Michigan leads, folks, 21-5. Here in the top of the 8th, Jalen Jones, the freshman, is on the bump for the Wolverines, the lefty. The 3-2 pitch is outside, so 2 straight walks for Jones. And like you said, Coley, Jones hasn't made an appearance since, I believe it was April 12th. Is that correct? So obviously trying to work a bit of that in-game rust off. 2 on, no out for Avery Fisher. Fisher 0 for 2 today with a ground out and a fly out in the 5th and 6th, respectively. First pitch to Fisher is a ball. So 1-0.
It's tough because you feel like Jones is hanging around right now. He's hanging around the zone. About half his pitches are in the zone, and another good chunk are on the edges. But it's about. Sorry.
No, you're good. That one's popped up. Velasquez under it makes the play. Looks like he had it lost for a bit, but ended up making the play. You were saying?
Yeah. So he's hanging around the zone, pretty often, Jalen Jones. But it's about making that pitch in that 3-2 count. 2 straight times, went to 3-2. That's when you got to continue to attack the batter. Obviously, you don't want it to go forever. You got to try to get a whiff at some point. But just making imprecise pitches in those 3-2 counts is what you want to see him mature away from.
Jones comes right back against Alex Sayer. Throws a strike at 93. 0-1 count to Sayer. Runners on first and second. Second pitch is outside. Good stop there by Buckley to reach and snag that one out of the air. Count is even at 1-1. Jones steps off. Checking McConnell over there at second. Quickly back onto the rubber. Prepping for pitch number 3 of this at-bat. It's Sayers up. The 1-1 is belted into right field. It's going to get down for extra bases. Velasquez looking to chase it down. McConnell scores. Arnold to third. And McConnell has a 1-out, 2 RBI double for the Raiders.
Marking the 5th straight inning that Wright State has put 1 run on the board. I'd love to keep it there, if only for aesthetic purposes. But not having much of an impact on this game as it heads for the end. But you see these Wright State guys, they're putting up good at-bats. Not necessarily what you want for Michigan. We were saying get some unheralded guys some time. Not all of them have answered the bell here. So it's definitely something to evaluate over the course of the next week. Who shined today? Who needs more work?
That pitch got away from Buckley, and Arnold's going to score from third. Sire to third from second. That one was over Buckley's head. Jalen Jones struggling with that command a bit. He's only a freshman, and this is exactly the reason why you put him in these safe situations. Michigan still has a 14-run lead here in the top of the 8th. The 1 out for freshman Jalen Jones. Alex Sayer is at third. He hit the 2 RBI double. Jones now works against Callahan. Ryan Callahan. Callahan 0 for 1 today with the strikeout back in the 7th. 2-0 here to him. Here comes the 2-0. That one swung on and fouled back towards us. Count moves to 2-1.
That's what Jones has got to do. That wasn't his greatest pitch. Maybe supposed to be inside corner. Maybe left a little out more towards the center of the plate. But it had enough velocity. He has enough natural movement on his pitches that he can get away with it, get away with that foul back, even on that pitch.
The 2-1 is low to Callahan. Moves the count to 3-1. Sire at third. Here comes 3-1. That one is a dribbler towards second. He's got to make a quick play. Is Rogers, and he does. A run is scored, but Michigan only needs 4 more outs to put the Raiders away. Got one there on the ground ball to second. Nice play there from Rogers.
Yeah, Rogers, maybe not textbook. Wasn't charging it as hard as maybe he could have, but he did what he had to do to catch it on an easy hop, not make the play too difficult for himself, and flip it over just in the nick of time.
Now batting, Garrick Anglin for the Raiders, who had a solo shot back in the 7th. Wright State with 3 runs here in the 8th against freshman Jalen Jones. Here comes the 1-0 to Anglin. Low for a ball. Infield playing Anglin straight up. Bertram, the shortstop, out into shallow left field. Now works his way back towards the edge of the grass. 2-0, 2 outs here, top 8. Michigan leads 21-8. Jones deals. That one goes through the legs of catcher Chase Buckley. Count moves to 3-0 for Garrick Anglin. Hitting .279 in the year. 13 home runs for Anglin this season with the Raiders. The 3-0 is low and in, and there's probably going to be a visit to the mound here. Maybe not. Bakic and his staff going to let Jones work through this himself, and Bakic, right on cue, is coming out to relieve Jones. So Jones had a nice start to the first batter with 2 strikes, and then kind of lost control, let things get away. Michigan still comfortable, 21-8. Jones, only a freshman. As Coley mentioned, hasn't pitched since mid-April. So Jones, his day is done, goes 2/3 of an inning, surrenders 3 runs to the Raiders. Michigan still comfortably sitting at 21 with a 21-8 lead.
Yeah, it's not many days where you give up 8 runs. The other team threatens in nearly every inning. And you're 13 runs up, headed for the bottom of the 8th here.
So Jones sits down. New pitcher in for Michigan is Zane Harris is due up for the Raiders. It's going to be Brandon Lawrence. How about that? Brandon Lawrence is pitching for the Wolverines now.
I believe he's got 1 appearance to his name.
He hit for the Wolverines either last inning or 2 innings ago and drew a walk. So Lawrence showing off his versatility, being called upon to pitch here in the top of the 8th. He's already working with 2 outs from Jones. Looking to get 1 more here against Zane Harris. Harris, for the Raiders, is 2 for 4 today with hits in each of his last 2 at-bats. Singled back in the 6th and doubled in the 7th.
Yeah, Brandon Lawrence, he does have 1 career pitching appearance. It was back on that April 12th game where we saw Jalen Jones last. Kind of a blowout at the hands of Notre Dame in South Bend. Lawrence contributed 2/3 of an inning, but did give up 4 hits, a walk, and 4 earned runs. Maybe riding the wave of MLB teams throwing in their infielders at the end of games.
It's not a bad strategy, is it? I mean, if you're down or up by a lot, no need to waste your arms, right? Go with a player in the field. Better yet, a player who doesn't start in the field in Brandon Lawrence, and you can conserve your bullpen, especially this late in the year. Lawrence will work against Zane Harris. He's working with 2 outs. Infield plays Harris a little bit to pull. First pitch is swung on and popped up behind the plate. Catcher coming back on it. He's going to get into the stands. A couple kiddos fighting for that ball, and then someone's going to get it to the amusement of the rest of the fans.
Nice pitch there. Lawrence doesn't look awkward out there. Obviously, maybe he can spin it a little. Got that pop up there. Almost ended the inning on 1 pitch.
Harris will go back after the foul ball. Second pitch is inside, evening the count at 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 to Zane Harris. That one's belted down the first baseline, foul right into the Wright State dugout, where there are about 15 players chilling in there. In the Michigan dugout, some action itself. 2 people warming up.
Yeah, Harris nearly gave that one for a ride.
Well hit off the bat of Zane Harris. The next one is going to be popped up. Shallow right center. Is it going to be Velasquez or Stewart? Looks like it's going to drop. It's going to be nobody. And Eric Bakich isn't going to be happy about that one. Poor communication from the shortstop Bertram, the center fielder Stewart, and the right fielder Velasquez.
There's been a couple of instances out there. You saw Velasquez earlier appear to lose a ball a little bit once the sun went down, once the lights came up.
Stewart ran back super late on one of those fly balls. So there's no sun to blame, folks. It's pretty dark here in Ann Arbor. Sun is well set. So perhaps not as much on their toes. You know, it's not going to really affect this game. Michigan's still up 21-9.
That's a good point. I think we all know what Stewart can do when he gets a jump on a baseball. I think in a more high-profile situation, he asserts his authority and takes advantage of that opportunity to show off his wheels. But in that scenario, awkward placement for anyone trying to go get it.
Lawrence works with 2 outs after the error. Drew Baker steps in for the Raiders, quickly down 1-2. Infield playing Baker straight up. Here comes the 1-2. That's outside, but gets away from Buckley. That's one that probably shouldn't have gotten away, as Harris takes second. So Michigan getting caught flat-footed here in the 8th, as there are now a runner on second. 2-2 count to Drew Baker with 2 outs. Brandon Lawrence hasn't really been helped much by his defense. Trying to get out of this one. That one nearly hit the batter Drew Baker. Stood in there confidently. Count moves to 3-2. This has been a long 8th inning. It's going to be the last pitch, and it is, as
Excellent
Lawrence
work.
gets Baker out on strikes.
That might have been a little bit of sinking fastball there from Lawrence, or maybe just natural movement. But diving low and inside to that right-handed batter. Dropkick Murphy's playing here in Ann Arbor as we head to the bottom of the 8th. The score is 21-9 Wolverines. Wright State putting up a valiant fight, though, notching 4 runs in the top of the inning. They're up to 10 hits, 9 runs. They have a couple of costly defensive miscues. But other than that, we've seen why. This offense is heralded as one of the best in the Midwest out of the Horizon League. Wright State, a proud program, notched 19 wins over Power 5 teams since 2014 alone. And that includes runs to the regional final of the College World Series in 2015 and 2016. So Wright State, a name with not a lot of traction in other sports or in the academic world, on the smaller side of importance in the Ohio school system, not even the premier school in Dayton. But they have a fine little baseball program led by Alex Sogard, a young gun coach rising through the ranks right now. You wouldn't be shocked to see him accept another job in the near future, although Wright State would love to keep him in town for as long as possible. So Trevor Kalinsky is going to come to the plate for the Wolverines. It has been a while since he's heard his name called to the plate. Trevor Kalinsky, however, 1 for 2 on the year with a stolen base in 1 attempt.
Kalinsky will swing at the first pitch, foul it back. Working against number 32, Riley Perlich for the Raiders, as we're here in the bottom of the 8th. Here from Ray Fisher Stadium in Ann Arbor. Kalinsky waits on the 0-1. This is a ball low. Evens the count at 1-1. The 1-1 is high. Moves the count to 2-1. And looking forward at this Michigan schedule, Coley. At Maryland for a 3-game series down in College Park, followed by a 1-gamer against Michigan State as Kalinsky singles to right field. Hitting .500, he'll increase that average. So Maryland starting on Friday for a 3-game series down there. Then back home for a 1-game series against Michigan State, followed by a 3-game home series against Rutgers.
Yeah, and Maryland sitting second in the Big Ten, tied in the loss column with the Rutgers at 13-5. Scarlet Knights are 16-5. But the Terrapins are considered the class of the Big Ten, ranked number 17 in the country, just behind A&M and 1 spot ahead of Texas, 2 ahead of Texas State, firmly in that southern stretch of teams.
Ian Kennedy for the Wolverines pitch hitting. He will ground into a double play. A nice turn there by the Raiders on solid contact from Kennedy. Batting for Michigan is number 6.
National scene in Division I baseball. Still looks pretty set at the top. A lot of orange teams. You have the Tennessee Volunteers, 42-6, sitting in first. Near unanimous, sharing the votes with Oregon State, followed by Oklahoma State, the Arkansas Razorbacks, and the Miami Hurricanes.
Alex Fedgy Johnson in for the Wolverines pinch hitting.
Of course, sitting at number 6, I might as well mention them, Virginia Tech, who Wright State managed to take 1 of 3 back in their March set with them.
So some quality opponents. 10 the regular season for Michigan. Fedgy Johnson quickly down 0-2. Takes the next pitch high and away for a ball. Count moves to 1-2. For Alex Fedgy Johnson. Next pitch is swung on and belted right back up the middle. So Fedgy Johnson, after being down early in the count, turns it in to a 2-out single. As Jake Marty is on deck. Number 18, Jordan Rogers, will come to the plate.
Perlich has been a little roughed up in terms of actual quality bat-to-ball action, but 3 good swings on his pitches in the last 3 batters.
Rogers 0 for 2 today. He's drawn 3 walks, though, so credit to him for getting on base. Takes the first pitch low and away.
Now, Fedgy Johnson is another Davidson transfer along with Matt Frye, who is expected to compete for a starting infield spot. Fizzled out early in the year, never got his swing down, and has seen playing time ceded to the likes of Dylan Stanton, Jack Van Remortel, and now Marty actually taking the start today.
Marty on deck. Rogers in the box now. Takes the third pitch just outside for a ball. Rogers on pace for his 4th walk of the day, which might seem surprising, but then you look at the score, and Michigan has put 21 runs up through 7 2/3, as Rogers on cue draws his 4th walk of the day. Fedgy Johnson over to second, as Jake Marty, who should intrigue Michigan fans now because he had a slow start to the year, but has tacked on 2 hits today. Had a double back in the 3rd and then singled in the 7th. A possible reserve option for Michigan heading into the postseason. And with the uncertainty that comes with that, you want as many valuable options as possible. Marty takes the first pitch outside for a ball, 1-0.
Especially lefty bench bats. Who can hit righties. That's what Marty's looking to prove today.
Marty stands in tall in the box, 1-0. Here it comes. That one is in for a strike, 1-1. Perlich, the pitcher for the Raiders, sporting a 15.95 ERA with 3.5 walks and or hits per inning. Count is even at 1-1. Here it comes. That one is swung on and popped up to left field. Nice play there from Callahan. Went right to him. Good piece of hitting, though, from Marty. He got good contact on the ball, and that's a good sign for him moving forward. As we move to what will likely be the last half inning of this one. Top of the ninth. Due up for the Raiders, Drew Fleming, Justin McConnell, and Luke Arnold. They are combined 1 of 4 today with the 1 RBI from McConnell. Pitching for Michigan, number 54,
Ryan Zimmer.
the closer for this team.
Zimmer, the sophomore, also from St. Clair, Michigan. We were talking about that earlier because one of Wright State's players actually comes out of that same border town. I believe it is Garrick Anglin. I don't know if Anglin is going to get an at-bat this inning, but maybe some high school buddies could link up, hopefully for a strikeout.
So Zimmer and Anglin. Same high school?
I think so, yeah.
How about that? That'd be cool. Anglin batting 4th in the order. He would bat 7th. Sorry, doing some quick math.
Yeah.
Bat 7th this inning.
A lot of math to be done today. You need some high-level calculus to add up how many runs Michigan has put on the board.
So Michigan up 21-9 heading into the top of the ninth. A combined 27 hits between these two teams, and credits to their defense. Only 1 error for Wright State, although there have been a couple of miscues out in the outfield for Michigan. There's been a boatload of pitchers today.
And a boatload of pass balls.
Boatload of pass balls as well.
Yeah, but on the whole, you're right. Yeah, it's quality defense, especially from Riley Bertram out at short. Made some highlight reel plays early in the game. Jordan Rogers has locked down second base later in these later innings.
Batting for Michigan, Drew Fleming. First pitch is in for a strike. Zimmer, closer, looking to seal the deal here for Michigan. It's really just a matter of time. Michigan up 12 right now. Second pitch to Fleming is outside for a ball, 1-1.
So Zimmer's got 1 2/3 to his name on the year. A 43.20 ERA, but small sample size. Had some command trouble, 6 walks, but also allowed 5 hits. So the dual plagues of getting hit hard and not throwing it in the zone enough.
The 2-1 to Fleming, here it comes. Zimmer with quite the windup on that pitch. His hat fell off on the third pitch of this at-bat. Hat nearly fell off on the subsequent 4th. Throws it for a strike, though, so for whatever it works, 2-2. Count is even for Drew Fleming. 0 for 1 today. Next pitch is ball low and away. Count is now full. Infield plays Fleming straight up.
6'5" right-hander. Puts a lot of torque on his frame when he's delivering the ball.
The 3-2 is swung on and aired towards right field. That one is going to get foul.
You know, I can't think of many foul balls that Michigan hit that looked sweet off the bat,
yeah.
but Wright State has had quite a few,
Yep.
especially heading for that right field corner.
At least 3 I can think of off the top of my head. A couple out to left as well. The 3-2. That swung on and missed. Big out there for Zimmer.
Appears that he got a piece of it, tipped it off the chest protector.
Indeed, Fleming fouling that one away. My apologies.
Staying alive for just a little longer. Let's see if he can get finished off here.
The 3-2 is that one swung on and missed. So Zimmer finally retires Fleming, as the Wolverines are 2 outs away from picking up another win. Justin McConnell, who has played the entire game for the Raiders, will step in. He's 0 for 2 today. He does have an RBI and a run to his name, though.
It's a little weird seeing 0 for 2 next to his name, considering he's played the whole game. And considering that Michigan players have been getting about 6 at-bats from every spot of the lineup.
Wright State with quite the offensive game themselves, though. 9 runs, 4 of which came last inning in the 8th. 10 hits, just been their pitching and defense that struggled today, particularly their pitching. Zimmer comes with the 1-0. That one caught the outside edge, moves it to 1-1.
Yeah. A sign of struggling pitching is the 11 walks that Wolverines have worked today.
Here comes the 1-1. That one also caught the outside edge. Count moves to 1-2 as Zimmer's hat flies off once again. He's putting everything into these pitches. The 1-2 to Justin McConnell is fouled back towards the parking lot. This is another car ball.
So you wonder if he is able to retire McConnell here. Do you intentionally walk the next guy? Do you bring England to the plate? That's what we want to know. That's what we're waiting for.
Yeah, curious to see if the coach has that in mind, as it's a sky-high ball from McConnell. Communication, center fielder Stewart is under it, drops to his knees. Good to see that communication after the botched fly ball earlier in the game between Stewart and the right fielder Velasquez. Stewart making the play that time. A retiring McConnell, and here is Luke Arnold. Possibly the last batter of the day. He is 1 for 1 today with 1 run. As Zimmer has made quick work of the first 2 Raiders to appear here. First pitch is in for a strike. Michigan dugout getting rowdy for their closer. Luke Arnold might have other plans. Infield playing him relatively straight up. The 0-1 is way outside for a ball, evens the count up at 1-1. Some good stops here lately by catcher Casey Buckley.
Yeah, a lot of pitches just slightly off the mark today, with some rusty pitchers taking the bump, and it shows. But on the whole, Buckley's handled it well. He's had some meetings on the mound. Clearly they trust the veteran to handle this group of generally young arms that has cycled through the mound today.
Buckley replaced Overtop back in the 3rd. He has seen a bunch of pitchers since then, so props to him for working with a vast array of different arms. As Zimmer has quickly fallen behind. The count is 3-1 to Luke Arnold. At this point, Zimmer just looking to throw strikes. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. They can't come back from 13 runs on one swing.
Right.
So make him swing it.
The 3-run to Arnold is high for a ball, so Arnold extends this game with a walk.
Appears that they hooked up our Wolverines pitcher with an extra large hat. Or maybe he's just a large in hat size.
Yeah, couple that with the head swing on the windup, and you've gotten a couple fallen hats.
On any given pitch, you don't know if the hat or the baseball is flying further toward the outfield.
Hey, it could be a nice distraction. Who knows? First pitch to Avery Fitcher is in there for a strike. 21-9, Michigan leads here. If you're just tuning in, we've got about one more out to go. That is if Wright State doesn't put up 13 or 12 runs here. Next pitch is in for a strike, 0-2. Zimmer, another flying hat. As the Michigan fans here, what remains of them, can sense this one coming, as can the Michigan dugout. The 0-2 from Fisher. Runner takes off. It's in for a strike, and he ended it. Zimmer gets Fisher looking, and what caps off a brilliant offensive day for the Wolverines. They win it 21-9 against Wright State of the Horizon League, likely a contender out in that conference. So a good win here for Michigan as they cycle through an array of pitchers. A bunch of guys saw the field here tonight. Michigan moves to 25-21 on the year as they enter the latter part of their regular season schedule. They will visit Maryland for a 3-game series down in College Park, followed by a 1-gamer home against the Spartans of Michigan State, and then ending it with a 3-game series home against Rutgers.
And then out to Omaha. So 7 games left, all conference opponents. This is a big confidence boost. Obviously, you're coming off 2 tough losses to end the Indiana series here at home. You're coming off a 10-3 kind of drubbing at the hands of the Xavier Musketeers last night. You're thinking, you can't take another tough loss to a team like Wright State. Come out here, assert yourselves, working deep counts and working walks, but then also driving the ball to all fields. Lots of line drives, lots of hard-hit ground balls. The Michigan Wolverines couldn't be happier after seeing the output of this game, even getting some young arms to the mound. This is exactly the type of boost they needed headed into that tough stretch, and let's see if it can carry over.
Pitcher Jake Keyser for the Wolverines gets the win here, probably the best pitcher between both sides all night. As Michigan wins it 21-9, I'm Owen Klein alongside the wonderful Coley Hoving. Coley, it was a pleasure.
As always, Owen.
Thank you for tuning in to WCBN Sports. Have a great night, and go blue.
Baby.